What's up, friendly neighborhood nerds? If you want to hear interviews from industry pros, get first looks, and have access to endless comic content, wake up. Please wake up. You're in a coma. Your mother misses you.
What's up, friendly neighborhood nerds? This is Judah Radd, and I'm here with Robo, Reeve, and today we also have a very special guest. We have Renfamous here. Oh, I did it again.
Fired.
But
Got him.
yeah, so we're all super excited to be here today. Renfamous, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, hi. My name is Renfamous. You probably know me from the internet. I'm a cosplayer based out of Texas, kind of a casual comic fan that I've mostly become known recently for making fun of bad people on the internet, which I'm very good at and enjoy thoroughly. But recently I've been able to start writing some contributions to some anthologies, comic anthologies. Been given the opportunity to, I'm pretty sure it's kind of like a novelty participant, if we're being honest, but, gig's a gig. So most recently I contributed to A Wave Blue World's Maybe Someday anthology that is coming out in November.
Dope.
And I think
Nice.
we have a...
Yeah, let's play that. Let's go ahead and let's go to the trailer. Then we'll just play this bad boy.
It's pretty nifty, and really the best way to get into the trailer is to get your work done fast, so...
That is one of my favorite words, by the way. Nifty. It's the cutest shit. I love it. I have to ask you before we play it. Or is it playing? Yeah,
It's playing now, yeah.
Looks cool.
But yeah, there's some really good... am I allowed to talk over this? Is there music
Yeah,
going
go for it.
around?
Yeah, yeah, it's sound,
Okay.
but they can hear you.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty short little trailer, but the prompt was it's a sequel to Wave Blue World's All We Ever Wanted, and it's a story. It's supposed to be stories set in the future that present technology in a way that makes life better or makes the world a better place to live.
Nice.
It's very positive and very upbeat, which was incredibly difficult for me because every time I tried to write one of these stories, it ended with like the robots killing everyone. So.
Yeah.
I had to take some of those ideas and try and figure out a way to kind of make them slightly less dystopian, and that was actually a large chunk of the notes that I got. The editor notes that I got on my story was, can we make this less scary? And I was like, well, it's already less scary. I already nerfed the scary.
Let's be real, though. The robots are going to kill everyone.
That's a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah, I know, nobody needs to be reminded.
Right.
You guys keep
was-
talking. I'm just gonna be
I
fixing
hear
my camera here.
It was actually a really fun prompt because it wasn't terribly limiting. It wasn't very specific. So, we ended up with some stories that are in the immediate future, like very near future, like mine was. And then there are some stories that are totally off in the year 10,000. Humanity has become this. And so it's a fun book. A lot of cool stories. I'm excited.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Hey,
Seeing
we're-
chat audio issues? Yeah.
Yeah, you guys-
apparently we're getting some audio issues.
You guys just go ahead and keep going. Oh, audio. What's wrong with the audio?
Yeah.
What are people saying?
That might be me. Let me try fix something
Same.
here.
They're saying that there's an echo. Everything sounds normal on my end, but I guess it's streaming echoey. Oh, and then DA Talk says it's better now, so that's good. That's good. I like better.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, guys, just let us know in the chat if it starts to sound weird or if there's anything that is coming out weird, because we want to provide just the best live stream
Oh
really
yeah.
possible.
Oh yeah. But it's live,
Like I
so
always do. Yeah.
what can you do?
That's
So let's talk about what everyone's what people are reading, watching, playing,
I
and
can't actually hear anything right now, but I'm trying to fix my audio. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
oh no.
This is
always
the
about
world of the
balance,
live. This is how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is how live works. You join a live and you're getting the rough and dirty, and it can be good, it can be bad.
Oh,
Like-
they
like-
say we think it was when you were sharing screen, so I think the audio for us
Oh,
to the audience is okay.
got it.
It was just the video, yeah.
Yeah, my camera on my phone just completely crapped out, so we're gonna use the crappy laptop camera from now on.
Yay!
Yeah.
Some sound a little soft. Okay.
How do I sound, Daniel Cobb? That's the only one I care about. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see who we got in the chat while we get everything situated here. We got Sketch Judy. Oh, we got Michael Malone. We got Sketch Judy. We got Orbit Snoogs Lag House. Boo, they say. That's an awesome name there. Yep, Michael Malone, the mod. Aramis Murat, what's going on? He's what I would call our Discord architect. We don't really know a lot about Discord. He does. And kills it. Kills the game in there.
Yeah, slays.
Pills.
Also, a child watched me on the stream the other day and was like, I'm like 22. And I was like, excuse me, you can't be that talented and that young. That's not fair.
Did you say 22?
Yeah.
That's not a child.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Let's be honest.
I turned 40 tomorrow, so yeah, I guess
You're practically
Damn.
dead.
tomorrow.
Wait, tomorrow's your birthday?
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Woohoo!
And we can't do
We can't.
karaoke because everything's closed.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Renfamous.
Oh no.
Oh, she's gone.
Oh, she's gone. She'll be back.
She'll come back.
Ainsley's in. Woo woo.
Woo! What up? Do we say pills?
Yep, pills. Let's see, who do we miss?
I love pills.
Mr. Dongs. That's plural, by the way. That's
Mr. Dong.
that's good. That's good.
I am a man with 5 dongs.
DA Talks. Ashley Y. Hey, thank you all for coming and joining us. It's gonna look a little crazy. I'm not gonna change the name tags right now because as soon as Renfamous rejoins, it'll fix itself and then everything will be right. We do have guests in the show today. What do we got going on today, guys? What are we gonna talk? You know, we won't go over it, but what are we gonna be talking about?
This is gonna be just one hell of a fucking day. We are gonna go over it. We're gonna talk about what we're reading, watching. I definitely have some thoughts on the second season of fucking
The Boys?
Jiminy Cricket. The Boys, yeah.
I didn't watch it. No spoilers.
I haven't seen it.
No
Yeah,
spoilers.
I started watching it last night, and it's good so far. So what I did is I started watching it, and then I was like, you know, it's been like a year, and I don't remember all the fine points. So I went back and I started rewatching the first season, which I always end up doing because I can't keep a show fresh in my mind for an entire off season. So every time a new season comes out for a show I'm really into, I always have to go back.
Yeah.
It's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Polly.
Polly's in the chat.
What up?
We appreciate you guys. Just know that the moderators are out here. We will take a little bit of controversy. We might even do a little bit of banter. But just know, don't be a shithead, because you'll just have to leave, and we don't want that. We want everybody to be in here and have some fun.
That's right. And Robo spanks, I've seen it happen. Especially with Judah.
Especially. I like how we got this black and purple thing going on. Just for everybody who doesn't know, I'm sorry. My brain's going like. Just for everybody who doesn't know, we're waiting for Renfamous to come back on. Looks like she's having some connectivity problems, and then we'll go ahead and get with the show as soon as she comes back on. We also have another guest. Who's the was it Miner?
Yeah, Matt Miner is going to be on here as well, and we're looking forward to seeing him as well.
Yeah.
He is, New York Times featured comic writer and editor, and nominated for a Ringo. And apparently Guar's comic pal. Have you guys ever seen Guar live?
No, I've seen pictures and videos, YouTube.
Dude,
yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy. They're like awesome. They're from my hometown, so I grew up. Well, not really my hometown. I lived in Richmond, Virginia, for a little while, and Guar. They're basically they're like the national treasure of Richmond. They're Richmond's band, and they're awesome. And you see them live, and it's just like blood and fucking madness and like sodomy, and it's amazing. I love it.
I already know that as soon as I fix these tags here, I'm gonna. That's exactly when she's gonna come back in. Boop, she's back. I'm like, son of a gun. Yeah. Also, one thing I do want to say before we keep going. Looks like we have quite a few people in the chat. This is awesome. Thank you for being here. We will have the guests back on shortly, I hope. But if you have the time, if you're on your phone, I know it kind of hides it. Go ahead and close that chat real quick. Give us a like. If you don't subscribe. We talk about all kinds of stuff. always comic books. We have our lives every Saturday, 3 Pacific time, 6 Eastern in the U.S. And we also...
We have some baller guests coming up, by the way. Tomorrow we're talking to Stephanie Hans, the artist of Die, which is by Kieran Gillen. And
she's so good.
You've probably read it. It's fucking amazing. If you haven't read it, you should definitely read it. This will be the 3rd episode we've ever done on Die. We did like a react to Die way back in the day, and then we interviewed Kieran Gillen, which you can find on our playlist. And now we're talking to Stephanie tomorrow. We're also talking to Zach Thompson tomorrow. Then Wednesday we're talking to Dan Abnett. We got Peter Cooper. You guys know who Peter Cooper is? He actually
the Mad Magazine dude, or yeah.
Say what?
Yeah, Spy vs.
He didn't create Spy vs. Spy, but he's been writing and drawing Spy vs. Spy for Mad Magazine since like the 90s.
Oh.
Then we got Christopher Cebola on the following Wednesday. We got Greg Katzman, who's the marketing and publicity president of Valiant Comics. He's a friend of the show. Got Matthew Klickstein on Thursday. Following Wednesday, we got Magdalene Visaggio.
Hold up.
Yep.
Someone's saying it's hard to hear you. Maybe it's just his laptop. That's Daniel.
Yeah, let us know if I can put up the Skype a little bit.
I just didn't want you to have to say it all again, that's all.
Orbit Snook says Dan Abnett, the last decent writer on Aquaman.
You're wrong.
I disagree.
We just had Jordan Clark on.
That's right.
Well.
Also,
I think,
Kelly Sue DeConnick.
Yeah.
I think Kelly Sue did a pretty fantastic job, and then Jordan Clark is in the middle of a 2-issue arc, and the first installment, pretty dope. We had him on the show. Thank you for reminding me. We had him on the show a little while ago, and I'm really stoked to get the next issue. I think the next one is number 63. He just did 62, so should be pretty dope. But Dan Abnett, man, my love of Dan Abnett goes back for such a long-ass time. I remember reading Annihilation and his Guardians of the Galaxy run, which is basically the Guardians team that is now in the MCU.
Right.
So, man, that run is dope. He did that Nova run, not the first Nova run, but the last Richard Rider Nova run. He actually killed Richard Rider for a while. Did that Annihilators? There was this team called the Annihilators, and it was the most OP team ever. It had like Gladiator and the Silver Surfer, and Quasar and like Beta Ray Bill. It's like the most unstoppable cosmic team. So he did 2 volumes of that. So it would be
every time Beta Ray Bill shows up in something, it just makes my fucking day. I'm like, yeah,
he's so
I'm here
dope.
for it.
He's so dope. Yeah.
It just makes everything better.
Although, if you guys are reading the newest Thor, when Thor with his galactic power, his cosmic power, just completely wrecked Beta Ray, and I was like, that's pretty badass. I didn't like seeing him hurt, but it was.
Hates
yeah.
Shit, is that what you mean? Yeah. His design, I'm fucking in love with Thor's design. Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get it tattooed on me.
He looks like you know who. The current iteration of Thor looks like he should be played by that guy from True Blood who played Eric.
Yeah.
What's his name? What's his name?
Not the main dude. It's Suke.
Skarsgård. What's his name?
Skarsgård.
Oh,
Skarsgård.
yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about it.
Yeah.
He looks like current Thor, or current Thor looks like
Skarsgård. That's the dude who played it, right? Pennywise.
That's his brother.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So Eric from True Blood, the Norse vampire guy.
Oh, got it. Yes, got it. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That like skateboards out of the room sometimes.
I thought you meant the actual main actor dude, like, Snooker, and I'm like,
Snooker.
I don't see him as Thor. I don't see it.
Okay. No, that guy's.
Glennis White is in the chat. Don't worry about being late. You will just dock your pay.
Hey.
No big deal.
Yeah, that's right.
Paulie doesn't like Kid Nova. I like Kid Nova. You're talking about Alexander. What's his face? Alexander. Alexander fucking.
You got to look up the Dewey. It's by Dewey Decimal. It's the Dewey Decimal system.
It doesn't say on here. Sam Alexander.
Index card.
Yeah.
Sam Alexander. I like him. I don't like him as much as Richard Rider, but I like him. He's like
Nice.
Richard Rider is like a cosmic fucking fighting monsters Nova. You know what I mean? He's like a grown up, and he's got more grown up stories. Sam Alexander is like Spider-Man Nova, where I gotta balance like my fun kid life and like my silly kid problems with being a superhero kind of stories, which I don't mind those, but I prefer like a grown up in space beating the shit out of him.
There's a reason for that, right? And I think what Marvel's doing is really smart. So there's a target audience, and I know we kind of overuse the "it's not for you" thing, but really that's literally the case. It's not for you. And so I remember I wanted to get caught up on all things Hickman's Fantastic Four. And this is as I'm trying to get back into the groove of comics and get caught up on stuff. And so I see FF, and I'm like, oh, that just must be like some stylistic, you know what I mean, version of the Fantastic Four. That's where I'm going to start, because the actual dates was earlier. And as I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, the little kids are going through some stuff here, and wow, this is really a lot about the little. And after a while, I realized, I'm like, oh, Future Foundation, and I'm like, what? Close, put that away. Like, go back to the, and it's just fine. I think the young Nova is probably for young people, and if you can't relate, then it's not gonna be enjoyable. Or maybe you can. That's fine.
You don't have to feel bad about not liking that stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the main point.
As long as you're not mad that it exists, which I'm definitely not. I'm glad it exists. Although I'm still gonna, my opinion, regardless of the logic of it existing, is still gonna be, I prefer like the cooler, or excuse me, what I think is cooler Nova that is a grown up. But it's different strokes. I do like some kids, or I shouldn't call them kids characters. I do like some younger, friendlier, sillier characters.
Like who?
I love Miles. I fucking love
Miles.
Oh,
yeah. But he has such like grown. Yeah, that's a good one. He has like grown problems though. It's weird. It's like he's a teenager, but he's a teenager entering that pre-adult.
Well, here's the difference. So Miles became popular because grown-ups read, or not grown-ups, but like kids that like grown-up shit were reading the Ultimate line. So Miles is really, even though he's a kid, he's still designed to appeal to people that remember him from Ultimate, people in their 30s. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's a kid, but he's written for like a more mature demographic.
Yeah.
People that were recently introduced, and when using recently loosely, people that were introduced within the last decade, like Miss Marvel, they're not for the demographic of people that read Ultimate. They're for younger people, So you're just gonna see like a difference in the writing, even if the characters are the same age.
Sure.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ree? Out of the Woods.
What do I think?
Yeah,
I've been reading this.
This is what I think.
And it's fucking sick. Sorry to change the topic.
Is that a kid's book?
No, fuck no.
So you're sitting there with this book. One of these guys is gonna shut the fuck up. I really want to talk about this book. What about you? Oh, good, my turn.
I'm just like hanging on. Yeah, I was sitting on my hands the whole time.
These guys can fucking talk.
I have to tell you guys about it because usually when you're reading a comic, you can be like, that's probably about mental illness or whatever. Like you said, was it you that had the tweet the other day that was like, are all films about mental illness?
Yeah, I not to derail your thing, but I'm reading. We just watched another one, and it was The Witch in the Window.
Oh, how was that?
Yeah, Witch in the Window is a Shudder original, and it's not bad. There's some parts that I'm like, I think that one kind of pulled me out of it, but the overall story was good, and I won't ruin it. But at the end of it, I'm like, I had this like light bulb, and I looked online to see if I can validate my suspicions, but I couldn't find anything. But I felt it was an allegory for suicide, and then the complete inescapable feeling that you think that people in that, this is it, this is the only thing I can do, and so like I said, I won't spoil it, but it was like there's the wind, which was more on the nose. That was clearly a mental health thing, and it was just like, did I not? Where have I been? Are they all about mental illness? You know, and so
I mean, you could argue that they are technically. You know, like especially if you've got depraved activity from human beings, you could say like, yeah, that guy's probably schizophrenic or blah blah. I don't know.
Sure.
So this one, you know how when you read comics, it's the same shit. You're like, I don't know, that could be about, we were talking what was it? Is it Goodnight Paradise or Goodbye Paradise?
Goodbye Paradise.
Goodbye. Okay, so...
No. It's Midnight Paradise, Sunset Paradise. Man, now I gotta look.
I know, right? I always forget it, but it's a really good book, and it's clearly like the perspective of the narrator or the protagonist. Good night. Okay, thank you. So he's clearly mentally ill, right? But like that's not to say that the entire she's back.
Yay! All right, let me refix all this stuff.
All right, sweet. I was just saying I'm reading this book and it's about depression and anxiety and it's written by a medical professional and it's really good and the art is sick. It's a cute flick.
Hey Ren, if you could hear us, I don't know if it's easier for your computer to do voice only if you want. I don't know if she can hear us.
I don't know either. I don't think so.
Boop.
I don't think so, mate, as Reeve would say. I don't think so.
I don't have closed captioning on. Can you not do that for the audience?
She's gone. Oh, buddy, he just moved all the shit.
So tell us more about this book.
Oh yeah, so the idea is like, it's trying to convey the feelings of depression and anxiety and how to overcome them. So it's got some like cool. It's pretty abstract. I was telling Judah, it starts with like a Dante quote, but man, some of the art is like just like I'm trying to find certain pages while not looking at the book, which is really dumb. Hang on, let me see if I can find this certain page. So they've tried to work in like actual anatomy into certain pieces of art. So that's supposed to be a set of lungs. That's also a tree. And then there's like brains and stuff in there too. And it's really fucking sick.
So is it told like as a story or is it like educational where we're talking directly to anxiety and depression?
It's kind of like, when you see those like infomercials where it's like an example of like, is that the best you can do? Well, that's how I feel. Like you're getting glimpses of. It's good though. Like it's not as bad as I just made it sound. But it's by Brent.
Sounds.
Mr. Man of Many Dongs says, if I wanted a comic about depression and anxiety, I'd read Tom King's Batman. I feel like that's a zing.
There's a part of Tom King's Batman where so Bruce Wayne is this always makes me laugh. Bruce Wayne is like gonna marry Selena Kyle, and she doesn't show up to the wedding.
Oof.
And he gets
and
he gets so angry that he punches Robin in the face.
Yeah, you sent me a screenshot of that. I remember.
That seems fair.
One day, if that ever happens, I'm just gonna tell my son, I'm like, just walk away. Just walk away. I just might punch you in the face. I'm so upset right now.
I've been watching Batman the Animated Series lately. Binging it. I want to watch that entire universe because those are the kind of goals I set for myself.
Fuck yeah.
But
why not? If it makes you happy, fucking do it.
People are planning for their fucking retirement, and I'm like, I'd really like to have recently watched all of the DC animated universe.
I think we all relate to that.
In what some guy online has deemed is the appropriate chronological order. So that's what I'm doing in my life because I really want that headcanon. But I was watching it the other day, and it's the episode where Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face. We actually are in comms with the guy who directed that episode, by the way. He's going to be on our show. But I digress. It's the part where Bruce Wayne is sitting at the dinner table with Harvey Dent, who is not Two-Face. And he's like, Harvey has just started dating Poison Ivy. So they're sitting at the table, and Poison Ivy walks in and she like makes out with Harvey Dent, and then she leaves. And Bruce Wayne is like, wow, like she's hot. What's going on with you two? And Harvey Dent's like, yeah, you know, I think we're gonna get married. And Bruce Wayne spits his drink out into the restaurant, not even in his glass, not on the floor. He spits his drink out horizontally, like towards the restaurant, like, and then he continues the conversation. He's like, what? You just met. You know what I mean?
And they don't show anybody else's face. Everybody else is like,
Yeah.
oh.
But in real life,
Oh my god.
Guests would stand up. People would be like, whoa.
Check,
You know?
check, please.
And Harvey would be like, whoa, before we keep talking about this, you just spit into the restaurant.
Especially today's day and age, you'd get arrested for that shit.
Oh yeah. If someone spits on me, I see those YouTubes all the time, and I say to myself, you know what I mean? Whatever higher power, if there's one out there, it's looking out for me, because I've never put in those positions where someone wants to cough in my face or spit on me. Because here's the deal, I might even get beat up. I don't ever try to pretend like, I beat him up. No, but there would be a fight, and I would probably go to jail. And if I got beat up, it'd be all the worse. So yeah, I'm glad no one does that. You're right. If someone spit on me, it would be a bad day.
You heard it here first.
I will go to jail.
It's such a fictional thing. It's completely a fictional thing.
Yeah, no, 100%. As far as like the look, what? You know, and then
you could tell,
like the mask.
You could tell.
Yeah.
My dad, I could be sitting at the table with my dad, and he could tell me, "Hey, I've never told you this before, but I was actually born with 3 dicks. I have 3 dicks." And even then,
Dad is Mr.
What?
even then, I would finish my sip. And I would say, I don't have 3 dicks, so I can't tell if I got lucky or unlucky.
or really unlucky. Yeah. But I think it's supposed to be an exaggerated version of people have said things to me in the middle of a drink, for
let's
laughter.
ask the chat. We should let's see if anyone has spit their drink out.
Michael Malone says, I'd let Bruce Wayne spit on me pre-COVID. I'm just saying. And I think he's lying, because I think post-COVID he would let Bruce.
Hey, with Batman.
Oh, hold on.
I can hear someone driving.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. How's it going?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah, you.
Great. Thanks for joining us. Ren was here. She's trying to get Skype to work on her computer.
Ren.
Having some technical issues.
What a lame excuse. How you guys doing?
Good.
Doing really good. Thanks for joining us. Real
up.
quick, do you want to tell us and everyone else about yourself?
Sure. My name is Matt Miner, and I'm a comic book writer. I write the Gwar comics, the heavy metal band Gwar. I write a bunch of stuff for like Black Mass Studios. I did this series for Waxwork. I'm Ringo nominated for some of the anthologies I put together with Eric Palicki, most especially the anthologies kind of showcasing a visions of a better future. But probably I'm most well known as Gwar's friend and comic guy. So
that's pretty awesome. I lived in Richmond for a while because I went to VCU. And Gwar is kind of like they're kind of like the basically the mayors of Richmond. They're pretty beloved there.
Yeah, absolutely. People in Richmond all really get it. When we did the Orgasmageddon comic series, we did a signing at the big. It's not Books A Million. It's the other company that's the same company. Anyway, we did a big signing at that store. And all of them were in costume, and I was the only dork there not in costume. But yeah, I mean the line wrapped around the store, and it was just like a madhouse. So yeah, they're very beloved in Richmond, and even doing a signing in Richmond, people really show up. So it was very, very cool.
Orbit Snoogs Laghouse says, "Hail Odorous." Is that a Gwar reference? I'm guessing.
Yeah, Odorous Urungus was the lead singer and head man of Gwar until, unfortunately, his human slave, Dave Brocky, aka the guy in the costume. He overdosed and died. So, so that's how that went down. And somebody says, "Who?" Yeah, look up Thor. It's awesome. But yeah, one of my big regrets is that I went to Richmond to pitch the band on myself. Like I brought some of my comics and showed them that I knew what I was doing, and I went down there to pitch them on the comics and on myself. And unfortunately, it was after Dave had passed. But I hope that wherever he is in whatever dimension that foul beast is, that he's proud of the comics and happy with what we're doing. I write them, but they're all co-written with the band. So I work with Matt McGuire from the band on all of them. So they're all Gwar canon, part of their lore, and all official and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
They're so much more than just a band. They're a lifestyle. they're like they're performance art. If you ever go to a Gwar show, don't wear clothes you love, or wear something that you really love and you expect to get destroyed, because you're going to get soaked in blood and bile and whatever else they're shooting out at you. It's just fun. Every stage show, every tour is different because those shows continue the Gwar lore. So they all have a story. They usually deal with politics of the day. They usually kill whoever is president of the day, or whoever is running for president. So it's nonpartisan in that way. Sure, they kill Trump a lot right now, but they used to kill Obama. But they're kind of a reflection of humanity's worst instincts. And the guys behind the mask, they're all just like super sweet, like very intelligent guys who like D&D and comics and drawing. Matt McGuire from the band is one of the artists in all the Gwar comics. Like, he's actually a really good artist.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, so you've written for Black Mask. I discovered Black Mask last year, actually. And because I was reading that what is it, the Space Riders series by
yeah. So
and
Fabian Rangel Jr.
Yes.
And
they're drawn by Alexis Zirret.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And his work is fire. I love that. I love that series.
It's
really
bananas and crazy, and I love it. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. It's like if you took a Jack Kirby style art, but then like pumped it full of amphetamines, and that's what you get.
I think it's more like LSD or something, right?
Yeah, LSD.
It's really bananas. It's out there. It's great. Oh, I love it.
It is great.
Yeah.
So let's
I've done like maybe 4 or 5 books with Black Mask. Sorry, I don't mean to ramble on.
No, it's awesome. Hey, Judah, why don't you go ahead and? I don't think Ren's in.
Oh, she's here. I see her. Hi, Ren.
Can you hear me?
Oh.
Yes, we can hear you.
That's
Can you hear me? And there's no bad feedback or anything?
Are you talking from across the room?
No. This is the best I could do audio-wise. I'm using a crappy old headset. I think my husband threw in the trash and I'm talking directly into my computer. So is the audio really not working?
Sounds understandable. It does sound like you're kind of in like in some kind of weird tin contraption.
Yeah.
But
I bought a new mic for this too, but I think I was causing some kind of issue with feedback. All kinds of stuff that I probably should have fixed before we started recording, huh?
No worries.
Also that. Keep telling myself I'm gonna like my hair or do something with my hair so I don't have to wear a hat, but it's just not gonna happen during quarantine. And right now I'm rocking this awesome emo hair that I can pull all the way down to my nose.
Oh yeah, I did that earlier today. I did the double, like what you're doing.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But it's how do you make it not tickle?
I don't know. Like my hair full of pomade.
Here, I'm gonna try something. Do I sound any better?
Yes.
Oh shit! You sound like you're right in my ear. Like.
Oh, that's much better.
Yes.
Because a computer Bluetooth connected to a random headset that I had, and it was across the room.
Hey.
So I was talking from across the room. You know, I hear you on the haircut. There's a reason I'm not wearing the blue wig right now. It's literally don't have hair underneath it anymore. So I'm like, I'm out of the wig game until I can get a haircut.
Yeah, I'm off video because my hair is just a focus right now.
Oh, come on.
It's so long. Yep.
You're off camera.
That's right. Just do Judah hack and wear a hat.
Yeah, we just make fun of you like we make fun of Judah and be like, "What's up, bruh? Today on I freaking love comics."
Let's throw the frisbee around the quads, bro. You know what I hate though? My hair is too long and too thin at the same time, so it's like in my face, all over the place, looks like shit. But I still have bald spots, so it's like I got the worst of both worlds.
I can tell you, no one notices the bald spot until you whip the hat off your head, lean down, and say,
"Look at that! Look at
You
that!"
see it right here? Yeah, everybody sees the bald spot.
All right.
It's a defense mechanism. I like to highlight my flaws just to take ownership of them. I don't know.
All right, guys. So check this out.
If you point it out, then us point it out. It doesn't hurt as much, right?
That's right.
You get it.
All right, so check this out. We're only 40 minutes in, so let's go ahead and start the show. Usually we start off. we start off with what we're reading. We could do that like as a rapid fire kind of thing. Judo, just go. Okay. Just kick it off.
Wait, that's a shotgun. That would not be rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
All right. Right now I'm reading Grant Morrison Batman. Quantum Woody by James Asmus, and I'm also reading the totally awesome Hulk by Greg Pak. And I'm really enjoying them.
Dope.
I always have like at least 3 on it at any one time. Who goes next? Robo, you want to go next?
I am reading through the Harbinger series. I also, because of the milestone announcements, decided to start reading up on Icon. Who was a lot more conservative than I ever knew, so that's interesting. I'll probably want to do a video on that eventually. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. Reed, go.
Nice. Zach Thompson, he's done a few for Aftershocks. I've been working my way through the Aftershock library, and The Replacer, I want to direct it into a film because it gave me nightmares. That's how scary it was, so go read it.
Ooh.
Dope.
That's my repertoire.
Ren, what have you been reading lately?
Right now I'm actually working my way through. I backed a Kickstarter a while back. The Etherington brothers. They're based out of the UK, but they do the How to Think When You Write and How to Think When You Draw series.
Cool.
And it was it's a really nifty. I don't know if I'm on camera or not, but it's a nifty like take tutorials on writing characters and how to get in the mind of your character and how to think about motivation and things like that. It's actually a really cool series, and I'm kind of every time I've done one of these anthologies that I've been able to contribute to, I've gotten to the end of it with a million things I could have done to make it a lot better, and so I'm trying to cut some of those off at the pass. And I also have a Understanding Comics comic lab that I'm reading, and getting myself.
Did you see what he said about the new? Did you see what he said about the new Mutants movie?
No, what did he say?
So, first of all, they misspelled his name in the.
Oh shit!
I saw that.
Like, what the fuck?
And then
I mean, obviously they whitewashed Sunspot, and there are a couple other things that just really did not fit Scott McCloud's vision. So I'm still I haven't got a chance to see it. I can't turn off my excitement to see Magic, but yeah, it's still kind of disappointing.
That's a tough one, isn't it? Because I was so looking forward to it, and it's like, but they whitewashed Sunspot. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, I am undecided on what I'm gonna do. I might end up buying like a used Blu-ray, so it doesn't put any more money into their pockets.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, that was super.
What have you been reading lately?
Yeah.
Me? I've been reading a manga called 10 Count, which is Yeah. So I've been into that, and I've been reading a lot of like old '60s romance comics for a reason. So I've been digging into those as much as I can. I got a couple trades and some singles, and I've just been plowing through all that stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, not
That
a lot
sounds
of
cool.
tape stuff for me right now.
I find manga so intimidating. Like I'm intrigued, and I've read some. Like I read what's his name, Junji Ito. I read a volume of his stuff, and I loved it. But when I think of like all the superhero stuff, it just seems like there's an insurmountable amount of shit. I don't even like. It feels like too big of a commitment. Am I wrong?
Well, it depends on.
I mean, when you look at a series and it's got 30 volumes, it feels kind of like intimidating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like 10 Count has 10 books, and it's like that's it's a lot of books.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have the space in my home to take up a manga reading hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I decided to try to start reading. I decided to try out manga, but I'm only gonna do it on the app. There's no way I'm actually gonna buy the books, but. There's a lot of good new stuff out there that's not so deep in there. Like if you try to pick up like Naruto or One Piece or something like that, yeah, you're gonna sit there with like hundreds of volumes to catch up on, which might be cool because you have years of reading, in front of you. But there are newer stuff out there that's pretty dope.
The Junji Ito stuff. I mean, you should absolutely 100% head that way first because it's just
so gnarly.
Yeah, it's so bananas good. Like he's such a phenomenal cartoonist and storyteller, and if you want comics that actually scare you, his comics will kind of creep you out and freak you out. Yeah.
When does that anime start airing? Has that come out yet?
It's on YouTube. It's actually collected on YouTube. I don't know if it exists anywhere else, but that's where I saw it. Maybe that's not the place to see it, but it's creepy. It really looks like his shit too.
Yeah. So there's a bit of people trying to be clever in the chat. Somebody asks, why aren't you guys talking about Cyberfrog and where can you get it? And the short answer before we go on to the news is it's a bad book. It's not badly drawn. I wish I could say it was badly drawn, but it's bad. It's badly written. It's bad. It's a bad book. But I see what they're doing down there. Moderators, I know we talked about if it gets too crazy, but now they're trying to advertise bullshit onto our stuff. If you guys, somebody could just remove those two out of the chat, I would much appreciate it.
I really want you guys to read Super Frog.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, you could let them advertise. I think Ethan Van Sciver needs his fans to dig a third pool in his backyard.
You mean chubby Kid Rock?
If he could get them out there with shovels doing it himself, he would.
Yeah, just make that a new stretch goal. It'd be good to go. You
Come
guys
to my
can
backyard and dig my pool.
If I get 10,000 backers on this 13th variant, you could dig my own pool.
I need to get some more backers on Super Frog so I can build another pool and so that I can, it just drives me crazy how these SJWs are always being SJWs, and I just want to build.
Is he Dr. Girlfriend?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's actually Judah's natural voice.
Hear Dr. Girlfriend. I hear Dr. Girlfriend whenever he's talking. He's like to me, he looks like homeless Jeff Daniels with the voice of Dr. Girlfriend. That's like...
Sounds pretty hot.
Yeah.
Let's get into the news.
Yeah, it does sound pretty hot.
He would appreciate the thought. He really would.
So you guys...
Ethan should really appreciate us more because without us, he doesn't have his enemy and he wouldn't have his following. So Ethan
I spent 2 months doing something other than paying attention to them, and I look back there and they're spamming photos of each other with dildos all over their faces. Like,
really?
It went to hell fast.
So they turned it inward, huh?
Yeah.
Do they make a head strap on? Is that a thing? Like,
yeah.
Is there such thing as a head strap on?
Sure.
I feel like I need to own it. I feel like I need to own at least one of them.
You could make your own for sure. Like, why do you have
too easy?
Yeah. Why do you have to put it around your waist?
Maybe I only
just take...
saw it in Preacher.
No, yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty sure
Give
that's
that,
what I'm thinking of.
give
Well,
that
yeah, that exists. I saw it in the
give that
comics.
6 months, and that'll be up on Kickstarter too, with the Comicsgate brand on it. So.
Yeah.
Oh wow, there's strap-on where the dick is in the mouth.
Do I have to buy?
That's a
their
fact.
head
Yeah, I have
strap-on?
seen that.
Oh wow.
Have you what?
Just changing
What
the
was that?
topic slightly in the chat, someone was recommending Monster manga, which looks fucking sick. I just looked it up, and it is a Japanese surgeon living in Germany whose life enters turmoil after getting himself involved with one of his former patients who is revealed to be a dangerous serial killer. Sounds fucking sick.
Ooh, that does sound sick. That
Only
sounds cool.
800, only 800 volumes, half of which aren't available in the U.S.
That's right.
Yeah.
I do need to jump on the train though, because I really like the Junji Ito stuff is some of my favorite stuff I've read in a while. And do you remember that old book, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
Yeah.
Sure.
The one that was always checked out at your elementary school library.
You had to flip the page real fast because you didn't want the illustration to get you.
Right. The way that book made me feel as a kid is the way Junji Ito's stuff makes me feel now.
Just full butthole cringe fear.
Full butthole
Clenching fear.
The straight pucker
where
effect.
my butthole is literally pulsating. Yeah.
No, I mean it takes me back like so. Go if you think of 4chan and you think back to before the Trump the MAGA Pepe shit, the X board when people would actually like in the early days of creepypasta and the early days of the SCP wiki.
Oh
when
yeah,
people
yeah.
would actually do like full on LARP terrifying stories. Like it would alternate between really good stories and people that were posting a full rip scan of a Junji Ito comic, and everyone was doing the sound effects from the Holes comic. I can't even do that. But a bunch of great memes came out of it, but then also like that was just the heyday of being able to stay up late and listen to what was it, Coast to Coast before they changed hosts, and like it takes me back to the last time I was truly scared was reading those on an image board.
Yeah, for sure.
Isn't that where the Slender Man concept came from?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
but I hope not. I like to think that no one would bastardize the skinny Rockwall man of Junji Ito into a.
You'd like to think.
Isn't he a cryptoid or whatever they call it? Is it cryptoid?
Oh
He's
yeah.
like one of those ones that's
like a Bigfoot. He's a Bigfoot.
Yeah. He's been around for a while.
I only know Cryptoid from Fallout 76. I used it. I thought it was a Fallout 76 thing, but apparently it's outside that video game. So I learned that just now. So
there you go.
All right, folks.
We all learned something today.
I'm gonna get into some news items.
Yay.
The first one's very exciting for me. Let me just grab this. You could say that I like Heavy Metal Magazine. It would not be an exaggeration. But so Heavy Metal Magazine just dropped their landmark number 300 issue.
Wow.
And they announced that they're going to start publishing monthly. So the way it's been for, I think, since like 76. Since like 76, I think. I got to double check on that. They've been publishing seasonally. So there's like the summer issue, the winter issue, the fall issue, you know. They're going back to monthly, which is great because I love heavy metal, but it's also bad because now I'm going to spend like 4 times as much on heavy metal as I'm used to. So that's just how it is. You guys did any of you ever read Heavy Metal Magazine or are fans of it?
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know of it, but not a lot.
Matt, didn't maybe someday have a heavy metal guy who did the heavy metal first? Something or other, Nick Pyle.
Nick Pyle. Did he do the thing with heavy metal?
I'm pretty sure he did. His style is like screams heavy metal. I think he's done heavy metal covers before, but he did a story with Aubrey Sitterson for maybe someday, and his art is absolutely freaking bonkers. Like
I can't even imagine how long that takes.
It's ridiculous. But there's been some fantastic art in heavy metal. Like I'm not a regular reader or anything like that, but I know it just based on the sheer quality of the cover work and the stuff that they put in there. So why did they stop doing monthly? Was it just like a money deal like that?
Yeah, I think it's because it's such a huge book. I mean, it's a thick book with like each one is a huge anthology, and with the level of art the level of coloring and the page quality. I think it's just they wanted to make a higher quality book, and that's just higher overhead. But I got to be honest, I don't really know. This is me speculating.
Well, it's all under new management, so maybe that was something that came with that.
Yeah, it was Kevin Eastman for a while, and then he still has like I think a 10% stake in the company, but he's not managing it anymore. I think Grant Morrison took over. Is that right?
At one point, yeah. But I know Tim Seeley's with them. Joe Illage is with them.
Speaking of Tim Seeley.
Yeah. Is that a good segue?
No.
It is a good segue.
Yeah.
So do you guys do you mind if I just like talk about our upcoming interviews really quick? I know it's kind of like unclassy, but this is pretty exciting. So real quick, for anyone in the chat who hasn't subscribed yet, tomorrow we're talking to Stephanie Hans, the artist of Die, written by Kieran Gillen, who we've interviewed before. You can find it in our playlist.
We're dying to talk to her.
We're Die. After that, we got Zach Thompson on the same day. On Wednesday, we have Dan Abnett, who Aquaman, Annihilation, Nova, Guardians of the Galaxy. Gonna be up all night waiting. Excited about that. The ones I'm super excited about is Peter Cooper on Sunday, September 13th. This is the person who has been creating Versus Spy since the 90s for Mad Magazine. I can't wait to talk to that dude. We have Christopher Cebula on Wednesday, September 16th.
Yes.
Yeah. Super excited.
Ask him about the motel.
Ooh.
I will ask him about. I'm going to take a note of that. The Clown Motel. Is there a good story attached to that?
Oh,
Yeah, he
Jesus.
lived in a clown motel.
Google it. Yeah.
Oh
He
my
wrote-
He wrote
God.
a book. He started a month of living in a clown motel, and people paid him to go live in a clown motel. He wrote a comic in the clown motel.
Yeah.
I didn't know
American Dream.
Clown Motel existed. So I'm jealous.
Is it like
intrigued.
3 times as many hotel residents as you'd think, like a clown car? Like they all just pack in there?
I think he was just like driving on a road trip, and he drove by a clown motel, and he was like, "Holy Kickstarter!"
Yeah, like I want to know how it works. Like does
You know,
it
he
wake
did a whole
up with
deal,
a-
and he likes to talk about the clown motel. Ask him about the clown motel.
Very well. Speaking of Heavy Metal Magazine, we have Magdalene Visaggio on Wednesday, September 23rd. She actually
Also an
wrote this.
excellent aftershock writer. Yep, you're about to say it, I think.
Well, this isn't for Aftershock. She actually wrote a heavy metal a graphic novel, not part of Heavy
Oh.
Metal Magazine, but published by Heavy Metal, and it's raunchy. I have it right now. It's awesome. Where is it? I have it somewhere in my giant pile of comics here. I don't know 100% where it is off the top of my head.
Where's
but
your index card?
where are my index? Where's my Dewey Decimal System? Whatever. I have it. But oh, here it is. Yeah. So it's called Tarna, and it's like so dope. I would flip through it. I'd flip through it for you guys, but there's definitely boobies, so I can't do it on YouTube. But
that might have been my favorite New York Comic Con memory. Mags invited my husband and I up to her apartment, and her girlfriend made us cheeseburgers, and we just sat there and talked about comics, and then we ended up talking about like theology because I got like piss ass drunk, and so we started talking about like Jesus and stuff, and it was like
Oh,
an
wow.
ephemeral weird experience, but it was a really really good cheeseburger.
Sounds good.
Probably one of the best.
was it?
But the cheeseburger was dope.
At the end of my story.
I
I
love
went to a
that.
bodega for the first time.
Found Jesus in a cheese.
The name of my next album. We have Greg Katzman, who is such a totally cool guy. He's the marketing and publicity manager at Valiant, and he's going to be on our show Sunday, September 27th. Is it September 27th? Yeah. And then, and then this one, like, stupid exciting, and I really hate Abby and he's going to be on our show on October 12th. So,
Remember that time on September 5th that you had Renfamous and Matt Miner?
fucking awesome.
Yeah. This whole month is packed full of goodness. It's amazing.
So Simon Spurrier's Hellblazer Volume 1, Marks of Woe, is in stores September 29th, and I'm kind of excited to pick that up. I haven't actually read Si Spurrier's run but I know Ree, you're like a huge Hellblazer fan. Is that right?
Yes, I love it. I think that might have been the first comic I ever bought.
The Simon one?
The Delano run, sorry.
Okay.
So like I think it was like, when did he write those? Like 80s. And they're fucking excellent. Like, you know how you read through comics from sort of like 70s, 80s, and they have those really bright LSD type colors? It has a lot of that through it, and it's just like such a trip. Like, if you read this while high, it is one of the best experiences ever, because I can't read
while high. I can't.
Really?
I've tried. My brain is already functioning at half capacity. I'm high. I can't even sound out the words.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, there you go. Different strokes, different folks.
The hell are you getting your weed, man?
That's it.
I don't know. So I guess this. So I can't smoke any weed for my job, but I'm still for it. Which one is? There's the sativa and there's the other
Indica.
one. Which one is? Which one's the one that makes you like faster?
I have to look.
One of them like makes you more energized. One of them makes you more chill.
It's a Bradley Cooper movie, man.
I think Indica is chill because it's into couch, and sativa is the one that makes you
Alert.
like pepped up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's how I remember.
So just for those at home, just for everybody else, I stopped sharing. I think my laptop cannot do screen sharing at the same time. Also, when I did the stop screen sharing, I realized that Renfamous is actually on video the whole time. So she's back, and you can see her in all her glory. So we're all good now, and I think
to replenish your awkward screenshot folder, I'm here.
Mr. Dong says, "Notice me, Renpai." Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he has multiple dongs, not just one.
Yeah, that's
Multiple.
a plural.
I do like a man with a multi-dong.
All right, what's
Reminds
next
me
on
of an
the
uncomfortable conversation I had with my dad.
What's next on the news list? Weirdo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Tristan, this one's. I was like watching this mouth ajar.
Yeah.
So Tristan Jones, who draws Aliens and Predator and wrote some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, tweeted it was yesterday or the day before, calling out Greg Land for swiping his work, and then Greg Capullo retweeted it, and it's like, I feel like it's the worst kept, not even a secret. Everybody knows that Greg Land's been like swiping stuff from other artists since like, I don't know, 2004. Since Phoenix End Song or in 2004, but now it's like out in the open, and I mean I can't imagine what it's like to get called out by Greg Capullo.
Yeah.
But
I think the big.
everything.
Go ahead.
Sorry, everything I've heard about, like it's not even a tightly kept secret among industry people. Like, they all know that he does this, and they don't like him. Like, he doesn't go to cons, and he doesn't get beers with anyone at the end of the day at a con. Like, no one wants to hang out with him or talk to him. So, I mean...
And yet he's still getting hired. I don't understand that.
Because he's fast. Because he's fast. That's why.
I wonder why he's fast.
It's illegal.
Yeah, there it is.
He's
There it
It's
is.
easy to be fast when
Not
you're
worth-
drawing over
yeah.
someone else.
That's right.
Right.
So one of the things that I think
It
that
was-
was different, like was surprising to me, is that Greg Land has always been a tracer. Like, he traced it, and like, oh, look, you can see from this porn scene, and you can see from this modeling.
Yeah.
I didn't know he straight up grabbed stuff from other artists. Like, oh, you're a comic book artist? I like the way you drew that. I'm taking that. I didn't know he did that. And that was...
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, at least rip it from DeviantArt or something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Someone else is working in the industry.
It's
Yeah.
funny.
Take it
You
from other
can
pros.
reverse image search today. Like, why does he think? I don't understand how
Well,
his
I don't.
mind works.
It's not reverse image search that caught it. Like, if you're an artist,
Well, the
if you look
Photoshop-
at it, if you
Well,
look
that
at a
wasn't
hand, no. I mean,
He was
he's
saying?
tracing.
Yeah.
But
The
if you
artist of
look
the
at
Alien
hand-
cover was saying, the Alien Xenomorph thing was saying, when he put it in Photoshop versus his own art, it was like auto-locking because it was...
Right, because it was
his-
so
his
similar.
fucking art.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
understand why would you do that on something that specific? Like, if you're putting out an Alien comic, like, how many Alien comics come out a year? The guy
Right.
who also draws Alien comics
Yeah.
is going to look at your Alien
And it was the
comics.
cover art. Literally the thing that everyone's going to see, even if you don't buy it. I'm going to do the stealing on that, the cover art.
Really, there's
Just-
there's best practices for ripping someone off, and this guy just didn't follow a single one of them. Real
The
disappointing.
audacity. Just the audacity of it. It's like kind of funny. It sucks for the people who got ripped off, because it sucks to get ripped off, but just the boldness. And I think he's fast because he's ripping people off, but I think publishers don't give a shit about the medium. You know what I mean? They're just, well, that's not fair. Publishers do give a shit about the medium, but at the end of the day, bottom line is always going to win, and they want fast and eye-catching. And most people that see something in a store, they're not academically interested in art. They see something that looks cool, and they're going to buy it, even if in the
I'm going to argue against that and say not all publishers put as little thought into it. You know, like some people actually do the research into who they're hiring.
Marvel used the shit out of him, though. I mean, he's been on.
Well, we're gonna see his name pop up here in about 4 more news items, and it's gonna be very disappointing to me. Here's a teaser, very disappointing. Where we'll see. It's not his fault, but it's still disappointing. It's like, oh.
What's your shirt? Sorry, can you explain it?
Leave my boy Donnie alone.
Yeah, Donnie Cates is.
Oh, Donnie Advocates. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, real quick, did anyone besides me watch the new Boys season or any of the episodes?
I did.
What do you think?
I was excited.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
It's okay. It's not. They're not. I don't know. I haven't read the comic. I'll throw that out there now, because I've been advised against reading the comic just because it's, from what I understand, it's. I've been told I wouldn't like it, so I will take that to heart. But it didn't really go anywhere in at least the first 3 episodes of the season. It's slowed down a lot, and it's really not taking advantage of the world as much as they could. I can think of a million different cool things that you could like. It's just they built a world, this based in cynicism and this corporate superhero world, and there's a lot of stuff and a lot of fun you can have with that, but they're really not doing that yet, and I'm hoping they do it in later episodes, but I'm disappointed so far. I really like the first season.
How often are they releasing new episodes?
It's once a week now. They dumped 3 episodes in yesterday, and now it's once a week on Fridays.
Maybe I'll wait a few weeks. Before,
I don't know why they're doing that.
Yeah.
That was like the best thing about streaming when you left cable, is you could just kind of like binge.
They're trying to beat us back into waiting for
no,
Friday night.
Hate it.
Our shit to come on. Like no,
don't people buy Amazon Prime for the year though? It's not like you're going to keep us on the hook for another month of Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah, they're hoping that you forget that you paid for it, and then it just auto renews, and you're paying for it for years. But I don't know what the motivation is. Like they're trying to keep.
I have a guess. They're trying to keep the buzz alive. There's more buzz if an episode drops.
I think I know exactly what it is. It would have to do with where else it's being shown and licensing issues because like that's
fair.
Every time there's been weekly schedules, it's always been because some mainstream TV channel is also showing it, and they have to show it once a week, so the streaming service also has to show it once a week. It's like anti-competition laws or whatever the fuck.
Really?
It's annoying as shit. Yeah, it's the most annoying bullshit.
Is that why Hulu does weekly drops of like
that makes sense.
Sale on stuff?
I need to cancel
some
Hulu.
sort of licensing shit, I would imagine. Yeah.
I know.
Thanks for the reminder.
Oh yeah, no, cancel Hulu.
I just remembered that I'm still paying for that shit. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I usually cancel
She's literally getting up to cancel Hulu right now.
Amazing.
I'm getting a beer. I'll be right back.
Polly, you know what's funny is that I gave the boys a couple issues.
It's not something I'd recommend to most people. Hey.
But here's the deal. I started reading The Boys after watching the show. So season 1 ended. I wanted more. I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start reading the comic. And the way, like, I mean, not even talking about any kind of like problematic elements or anything, just the storytelling in general was so like we'll do a season 1 spoiler. The very first, I think it's the first episode, just the way that the TV show did the death of the girlfriend versus the way the comic book did the death of the girlfriend. It was just like, the TV show was like phenomenally better. Starlight, that whole interaction, where
only downside, in my opinion, is what's Carl Urban's character's name? I can't remember. Cunt. Sure.
Might as well.
Yep. So
the main dude, the Superman guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He has a dog in the comics, and I really wish it was in the show. That's my only.
Is the dog a saving grace kind of thing? Like the dog's innocent in all this?
Sure. It's his buddy. It's kind of John Wick vibes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Walks around.
I was
See,
told
I
that
love
when I make
love
this music,
the. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm being
I was
stupid.
just gonna say that I loved the boys comics. Like, I love them so much, and Derek's artwork in it is just amazing. So.
Are you a
I was-
Garth Ennis fan normally?
Yes.
Yep.
Normally.
Because I find
yeah.
he's really
Did you
polarizing,
like
right?
Crossed?
What's that?
Did you like Crossed?
No, I never read Cross just because I
So correct.
knew how over the top it went.
It's too much.
Because I'm not
Yes.
a fan of like sexual violence. But I love Garth's stuff. Preacher's my favorite comic series ever.
Preacher's another one I've been reading.
And
Need to
Derek
read it,
Robertson is one of my favorite comic artists ever. So
The-
the
the
boys
show-
was the big deal for me.
The show feels like it's just on the edge of making some kind of really good, like, satire-based social commentary, but then it never actually does it.
Right.
Really?
I mean, it
punches at every episode. Like it's just
I
right
don't know.
there.
Maybe I'm expecting something a little more explicit than what it's been, but I mean it I don't know. Maybe it's more nuanced than I'm imagining. Maybe it's going deeper than I'd imagined, but really I don't know. I'm just in a mood to punch things in the face right now, just
Hell
in
yeah.
general when it
Hell
comes to
yeah.
politics, and I'd like to watch someone get punched in the face.
Like
Well, it
Batman,
might also
like
be-
Batman and Robin when he gets stood up at the altar.
I was just about to bring that up. I know you'll have it in your list of news items, but like, how sad is it that Robert Batmaninson got COVID 3 days before they finished filming? 3 days.
I'm
Sucks.
so
I
excited
hope
for that
he's-
movie.
Me too.
I hope he recovers and is okay.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm excited
So
about it.
jazzed because
Yeah.
he is so not like Robert Pattinson gives off the air that if he never made another movie, he would not give a shit. Like, he's so done with everything and everyone around him, and I know that if not in the content of the film, in the marketing of the film, he is going to make so many people either angry or confused, and it's going to be glorious to watch because he's not going to market this like it's a Zack Snyder Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's
Right.
gonna enjoy himself, and he's gonna be giving weird ass interviews. He's gonna be doing like the Elijah Wood, like weird ass interviews that, like,
Hell
you know,
yeah.
post Lord of the Rings, when he
Good.
started just doing his indie weird ass interviews, like the Daniel Radcliffe weird ass interviews. Like, he's gonna be going down that
Joaquin
that
Phoenix.
avenue.
I hope he does.
Get a rap career.
I love him to death.
Pattinson-
He's so self-aware in just a hilarious, awesome way. And the marketing of the movie is going to piss a lot of people off because the movie's going to be good. I'm imagining it's going to be good, and that people are going to love it, but they're going to have to defend him while they're defending the movie. And
Yeah.
he's gonna it's, I don't know, it's coming, and it's going to be great. Highlight at
People
the
are
end of
mad
it.
at him. People are mad at him over Twilight, which makes no fucking sense. Like, he didn't
So
write the
dumb.
movie. You know?
So dumb. Now, I had to like defend my. You know what's funny is, it wasn't even defending myself. It was one of those like indirect defenses because people were talking shit about people who didn't want. What's the main actor, the female lead?
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart. So Kristen Stewart was presented in a thread on to act in a certain part, and my wife had just me and my wife had just watched all the Twilights like the week prior, and I don't care what anybody says, it's not the writing. She is objectively bad in that movie, bad. But he isn't, and a lot of the other actors aren't. And anything that seems kind of cringy. Also, the dude who plays Jacob's bad. Go ahead.
Have you read the books? Have you read the Twilight books?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, but
Unfortunately.
you have to go into watching the Twilight movies with the understanding that the character is not meant to be anything other than a placeholder for the reader, and it doesn't translate to the screen well. That she really
I see.
she has no qualities other than she's very beautiful and very clumsy, and she's you.
Yeah, that's
you,
exactly
the
right.
lonely woman reading this.
You
book.
project
You.
yourself onto this
You.
character.
I see.
And then
Lauren in
Edward
your
on top
college
of that,
dorm.
I would
Yeah.
argue Edward on top of that is like, he's the fucking Adonis, and he is just as bland and just as like forgettable. If you ask about Edward, what are his likes and dislikes, I can guarantee all the Twilight fans are like, no idea.
So when I talk about when I talk about my dislike, it's not really so much the depth of the character, because I have those same complaints about Edward when I'm watching. I'm like, what are these people supposed to be doing? I don't understand what's going on here. They're so bland. They're so and so what you're saying makes sense, that it's like, you know, that whole cookie cutter kind of deal. But even past that, I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think I could look at somebody and go, they're not a bad actor. That was bad writing. Like the recent Jared Leto's Joker. I think that was just bad writing. And I don't knock Jared Leto for how it came off. Edward, bad writing. Kristen Stewart was just like everything. Like even when she was supposed to be excited, it was like it was just like,
yeah, and I mean
But it could be bad direction.
Yeah, you know, she wasn't directed to do anything to make herself stand out, because, you know, that the aspect that made the book so popular was the fact that you could easily slide yourself in as the main character.
Okay, fair.
And they were probably hoping to replicate. But no, I think she's a shitty actress, personally. But I'm just
but not because of that movie. So that actually goes to my point, just to bring it full circle, was if I ever wanted to see Kristen Stewart in something, I'd want to see her. And I know Ainsley put out a lot of good. Ainsley, one of the moderators in chat, she put out, "Hey, watch this movie. She did well in this movie, and I should go watch those." But when I saw this
Jet movie, was it Joan Jett or The Runaways, something like that? She was.
Did she play Joan Jett?
I don't think so. She played someone. I don't know, but it was. You could tell how much attention I paid to that film.
Yeah. Well, you know,
She emoted. So.
Yeah.
That film was great. Ren, what are you talking about?
Which
I know. I'm saying.
How are you trashing the Runaways film?
I'm not trashing the Runaways film.
No.
I'm saying I was probably
trashing the Runaways film.
cooking or yelling at someone on the internet while I was watching it, and therefore I remember very little about it. So
You yelling at someone on the internet? That's weird.
don't do that. I'm very mild-mannered.
Can I please have one last? I know we've got some of our mods are Twilight fans. I just need to say one thing on it before we move on. Mormon propaganda. Like, they're both virgins before they get married. Edward has been alive for like hundreds of years, and you're telling me he's a virgin until he gets married?
If you have sex, you will get AIDS and
you
die.
will die.
No, okay, no. Here's.
But
here's
you'll
a
drink
good-
blood? Like,
Yeah.
And it will be delicious. Duh. No, I will tell you one thing. The Twilight riff tracks are the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. The riff tracks of Twilight are probably the best riff tracks in existence, and I've seen nearly all of them.
Amazing.
So
Riff tracks.
it's riff tracks. It is absolutely freaking hilarious. Like, I have never seen my husband laugh as hard as he laughed. Just because there's so many awkward pauses in the movie that there's so much potential for them to add something in. Oh, I'm gonna watch that after we're done here.
Hell yeah.
And I'm gonna cancel Hulu, and then I'm gonna watch that riff track.
You gotta write this stuff down. This is good.
Yeah.
I'm buying the Blu-ray of Runaways right now. So
Nice.
I didn't say anything bad about Runaways.
So why don't you like the
Yeah.
Runaways? Like, what was wrong with the?
what was wrong with Runaways?
Oh my god.
nothing. It was great. It was awesome, and she was Joan Jett.
So I don't really know anything about acting. Like, I mean, I have acted before, but I'm not academic about acting. I used to date a girl who was an actress, and so I'm basically an expert just by dating her.
That's right.
But apparently, there's this thing directors do that's a big no-no called line reading, where they actually dictate to their actors how they want something said. Like, this is the line, and they give them the voice they want them to say it in. And I think just watching Twilight, it's possible that that's kind of what affected Kristen Stewart's performance. You know, like, actors are supposed to have like free range to interpret a role, but if like every time they give a line, the director's like, no, say it like this. Like, eventually you're gonna get that kind of performance. So if she's great in a bunch of other shit that I haven't seen, then that could be why. You know.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's a war campaigner in the chat right now trying to do a gotcha about me supporting Mike Nelson because he's Doug Tenapel's friend. I pirate riff tracks, so eat a dick.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Boom goes the dynamite.
I'm not gonna even be in this show anymore. You guys go on. I'm gonna be in the chat. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you guys like Keanu Reeves? Does anybody here like Keanu Reeves? I happen to love Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
Who
of
doesn't
course.
like Keanu Reeves? Is that
Well,
possible?
There's
I don't like Keanu Reeves when he's kickstarting a comic book that doesn't need to be kickstarted.
Yeah.
I have opinions.
here we
I have
go.
opinions that I'm
Here
here
we
to
go.
share.
I have
So real
opinions,
quick,
but
Speaking
I'm not
of
sure
which-
I'm
I can't wait to get into this. This is gonna be an awesome subject, so I'm excited. there's a new comic featuring Keanu Reeves. He's collaborating with Matt Kindt, who, by the way,
is awesome.
Adore so much. His Unity run is probably one of my favorite runs ever. So he's the man. But I think this BRZRKR comic, BRZRKR, no vowels, looks cool. But yeah, it's the Keanu Reeves Kickstarter. They've raised 500% of their goal in one day, which is more than anybody. Which
Cool.
I looked it up. I looked it up yesterday, and I forget the exact number, but the total raised in started on September 1st. I looked up yesterday to update your news item. That it was like $570 something in 4 days.
Yeah,
Yes.
with all that money, they could start a publisher and pay to publish comics ahead of time instead of crowdfunding them.
Rand, I want you
Wait.
to let loose. I want you to let loose on this.
I'm sorry. I have nothing against Keanu. I've got nothing against Kent. The concept is what it is. It looks like a bootleg of a Comicsgate comics, but whatever.
Ouch.
Or other way around, I guess. But
Ouch.
the concept is not
Come
horrible,
on.
but it very much looks like something that's intended to eventually be a movie. Like this is going to be the story testing ground. They're going to see how people react to the story, and then eventually turn it into a Keanu movie. But
And what better way to make the fans pay for it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's even worse. I mean, like putting aside the fact that using comics as a story testing ground and thinking, it's one thing that eventually happens, but thinking of comics as just the place where we experiment with stories until we find something for a good medium to use. But why is a publisher using Kickstarter to do this? That's not what Kickstarter is for. Kickstarter is not
for publishers. It's for indie creators.
It's not for people who have the money to make the book. If your book is going to exist, whether or not you kickstart, that's not what Kickstarter's for. And I'm a little annoyed at Kickstarter for bringing. I understand the publicity aspect of it, but have Keanu do some bullshit publicity for actual indie books that are on Kickstarter that need funding to exist.
Yeah.
And he has 570 grand lying around. He has it.
Yeah.
I mean, he did interviews ahead of the launch of the Kickstarter where he said we don't need this money. Like, if you're gonna do this, don't go out of the gate saying give me your money, scrubs, even though I don't need it. Like the rest of these losers on Kickstarter that need your money to make their comics.
Ace McG says,
can I jump in with I've kickstarted, I don't know, 7 or 8 things now successfully. And can I jump in with just one observation? The Kickstarter says this is a pre-order for these 3 books, and Kickstarter is not supposed to be for pre-orders. I'm not gonna trash it. I'm not gonna trash it because I'm in the industry, but I will point that out. People aren't talking about
their
that.
rules do say this is not a mechanism for a pre-order, but the rules say this is not supposed to be a way to pre-order existing items, and because the book technically hasn't been made yet, I think they're skirting that rule. But the spirit behind the rule is that this thing would not exist without people coming together to fund it. And if you don't need the funding on Kickstarter, I don't understand what it's doing is it's turning Kickstarter into a place where companies can experiment, where I want to try this weird marketing gimmick. I want to try this new distribution method. I don't want to take on the risk that this title presents. So I want to have money for it ahead of time so I don't eat a loss on it. And that's not what Kickstarter is meant to be. And if it becomes a testing ground for mega corporations, then it loses the entire indie focus. And they're not going to be servicing indie creators anymore. They're going to be servicing these big names that are coming in to experiment.
An evolution in the cards, yeah.
It's the gentrification of Kickstarter.
I mean, I don't want to use. I mean, it is, but I don't want to use the term lightly. But at the same time, Kickstarter is going to point their customer service aspect toward whatever's making them money.
Because
and if they're letting these
That's right.
And if they're letting these big names in to experiment, because that's what BRZRKR, or whatever the fuck it's called, that's what they're doing. They're what he's trying to do after reading that interview. He's trying to find a way to get people to pre-order the trades and also remind them to go out and buy the individual issues when they come out. He's using it as a direct line interface to people who have already demonstrated an interest in the title. Mm-hmm. And I understand when you do that, but that's what a fucking email list is for.
Right.
He's going to be doing monthly updates on that on that Kickstarter, reminding them, hey, issue 1's out in stores now. Go buy it because you're not getting your copy of the trade for 8 months. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's a marketing experiment, and that's not what Kickstarter's for. If you want to do a marketing experiment, you pay for it. You take the risk.
Yeah.
And I mean, so it pisses me off. I kickstart a lot of comics. I've probably kickstarted 100 comics in the last 12 months. Usually digital, small-time stuff, but I really enjoy Kickstarter as a place to fund indie books. And I hate that they're no longer, their customer service, their creator service, their outreach, their recruiting is no longer going to be focused toward real indie creators if they're seeing money in this kind of thing. And
well, it kind of goes back to the whole thing with like YouTube, right? So you look at YouTube in 2000, whenever the fuck, 2003 or 2004, and it was like this opportunity, this place for small creators to go, and you can gain an audience, you can even make a little bit of money. But now YouTube is a place for major places like IGN to really just dominate, and where small creators like us, can't really. It's going to take inordinate amounts of work to get to the door because discoverability and all that kind of stuff favors people with 2 million followers, 3 million followers. And so if Kickstarter goes down that route, that's true. You can start a Kickstarter all day, but you'll never be on their front page because you're not Keanu Reeves and whoever else comes after him dropping $500,000 or $1 million on projects. So.
I mean, there was a point at Kickstarter where their comics outreach, Camilla Zhang, she left. She was fired about 6 months ago when they laid everybody off. She was actually like doing a lot of outreach. She was making sure that there was diversity and representation of creators on the Kickstarter platform. She was going out and reaching out to people that were looking for a place to fund their comic, and there was really a solid indie presence on Kickstarter. There was an indie focus.
She's back, isn't she? I think she's sending out the emails from Scott Snyder's Kickstarter. I'm pretty sure.
I think she's actually working for
her
Scott.
name.
I think she's working for Scott Snyder.
Oh, okay.
I
wanted to jump in with something to kind of piggyback off of what you said, Ren. Let's not make a mistake here. Boom Studios is not a mega corporation, like you said. Okay. I think the problem is when you have Boom Studios, if they were kickstarting a book by somebody middle of the road who isn't like a mega star, I don't think there would be the outrage. But I think the problem is when you have an established publisher teaming up with a mega superstar. There's nobody bigger than Keanu Reeves right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
nobody
teaming up with Keanu Reeves to Kickstarter. I think that's why people got upset.
It's that,
I mean, Dynamite runs Kickstarter sometimes. Nobody freaks out unless they're running Comicsgate Kickstarters.
Mm-hmm.
They exclusively run Indiegogos from what I've seen, or maybe Dynamite's done, I think, a couple Kickstarters too. I think, but when they do Comicsgate, they do Indiegogo because they know that the Kickstarter has had standards. Yeah, no, you can see that.
I thought the Cecil cover was Kickstarter and they canceled it, wasn't
it? No, it was Indiegogo.
Okay, my mistake.
They do Indiegogo for Comicsgate and Kickstarter for everyone else.
Boom Studios is actually a smaller publisher. I mean, they're not indie, but they're smaller, right? They're not like a huge corporation. Of course, they can afford to pay for a Keanu Reeves book, and they should be able to afford to pay their artists more than $20 a page.
I mean, they have multi-million-dollar IP, like with Dynamite, like Red Sonja and shit like that. Like they obviously have capital, so it's weird to me that.
Sure, but that's Dynamite we're talking about, though. I just brought up Dynamite as another.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I think I was kind of jumping to the next logical conclusion is that someone that is bigger than Boom will see the success that Boom has had, and they're going to jump in and want to do it too.
AOL Time Warner kickstarting the next Batman book,
Yeah.
And that's
right.
I'm afraid it's going to head to. Maybe not right away, but it's just going to get bigger and bigger. I mean, nobody bigger than Keanu Reeves right now, and it's mind-blowing that he ran a Kickstarter.
So before we move on, I do want to be fair here. Polly, our local Russian moderator, has an opposing view, and then I'll give you guys, because we seem to all agree on this, but here's an opposing view. Polly Troyer says, that's a marketing thing as much as anything else. There are only so many ways to find out whether or not people even want your product. Famous brands use Kickstarter or similar platforms to ensure that their albums won't be stolen. but will be bought. Same with the writers. Nobody actually wants to lose money. It seems pretty understandable to me.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes sense. But at the same time, someone like Keanu Reeves launching a Kickstarter kind of sucks the air out of the platform and makes it harder for other people to succeed during this time. You know, I have a Kickstarter launching very soon, and it's going to be up against, you know, the Keanu Reeves project.
But is it? I mean, we mentioned just a few moments ago that a lot of the people, I mean, it's not just your typical pool of Kickstarter contributors contributing to BRZRKR. These are probably Keanu fans that typically don't, many of which typically don't even read comic books or participate in Kickstarter. So he might be bringing other people to the platform.
Sure, of course.
You don't necessarily know if you're fighting for the same pool of backers.
Yeah.
Well, when I look at the Kickstarter page and I see that I have 17 of the people that I follow backing BRZRKR, that kind of tells me that it is kind of a lot of the same pool. Of course, they're bringing people from outside who are just interested in Keanu, but they're also bringing in comics people.
Yeah, Kickstarter can serve in a number of capacities. It can serve as a place for experimenting with marketing and outreach to customers. It can experiment as a place to bring in people that aren't traditionally a customer of whatever you're making and may want to transition to being that kind of consumer. And it also originally started as a place for indie creators to be able to create something that otherwise would not exist if they were not able to secure funding. And once the focus shifts to servicing those first two things rather than the thing that it was founded to be, you're going to see a marked difference in the number of new creators that are brought on. You're going to see a difference in how they're treated by people who work at Kickstarter, you know, kind of service they get as creators. And that's the shift that is going to take away an avenue that really we haven't seen a valid competitor to. Like, what are these indie creators going to go over to Indiegogo where they know that you know?
Hell no.
Yeah, and they know that they're not going to be, you know, that they're going to be talking to someone who thinks they're subhuman, who works at Indiegogo, someone who's willing to service people who thinks they shouldn't exist or have human rights. Like, if you want to
Indiegogo
make
was built for abuse. It was designed for abuse.
Yeah. It was designed for scams. It's a scam place. It's a place for scams. It's a place where people rip each other off, and if you want to have to force someone to make the choice between use this platform where you're no longer the focus or use this platform where people are going to associate your name with a scam, like, that's not a decision you want to force on people, and I hope that Kickstarter doesn't go in that direction.
More like indie no-go.
Oh, sick.
Someone laugh. Someone else laugh, please. All right. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ray.
Michael made that same joke in the chat. Sorry.
Oh God. Oh God, Michael. You're fired.
You're fired.
Just so everybody here, I don't know if you guys are keeping track of the chat.
I can't see the chat.
Okay, so apparently someone came in and someone's saying that we got doxxed or by Kiwi Farms or something.
I don't even know what that means.
I got doxxed by Kiwi Farms like a fucking year and a half ago.
Welcome to the club, bitches.
If anyone was coming to my house, they'd be here by now, even if they started walking.
That's funny. That means they find out where they look on public records and try to find out your address and your number and your real name and et cetera, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I laughed at that because I was like, I have no money, and I feel like they would just be giving me money if they got to the point where they were trying to take my shit. Like, they might be like, oh shit,
they'll never top the weebs. When I pissed off the weebs with the Vic Menomina thing.
Oh yeah.
That rapey.
Is that how you say his name?
That's how I say his name.
Manana.
It's Manana. Yeah, but we say it like the Muppet. Manana.
That's what it's from.
Yeah, no. When I pissed them off, they mailed a death threat to my house.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had to go have a meeting with USPS, the U.S. Postal Inspector Service, the Feds.
Yeah.
I had to put the letter in a sandwich baggie. And go drop it off when I was in Dallas for work, and USPS was like, yes, we will look directly into this, and we will let you know, and then they didn't do that.
Of course not.
Turns out USPS is as worthless as every other fucking cop. So
that's right. You know, I'd actually be mad in a different way because I'm a weirdo. I'd be like, can I get that back once you prove there's no like anthrax on it?
I didn't even read it. I want to read it so bad.
Yeah, I would frame that shit. I would probably make like a room of like hate mail. This would be so awesome.
I would be so flattered.
They mailed 11 of them. 11 people got death threats to their house, including this old lady that writes for like the Dallas Sentinel or something like that. she was just writing about the court case for like a Dallas newspaper. They mailed her a death threat. And I held it up to the light. I put on my hair dyeing gloves and held it up to the lamp. Because my husband, when I started this, he said one thing. He said, "Please don't get us killed by weebs." That was all he wanted. All he wanted.
That's a reasonable request.
Yeah.
All he wanted was to not have to shoot a weeb on the front lawn. He said he wouldn't be able to sleep. He said it would haunt him. I don't want to shoot a weeb on the front lawn.
I'd be fine with it. Just. Anyways.
I mean, that's what I said.
Anyways.
Relationships are give and take. And
right. No, you got to compromise. Yeah, sure.
So I said, honey, I promise you won't have to shoot a weeb on the lawn. And then I get a death threat mailed to the house. So he sees me getting out the dye gloves with no wig in sight. And he's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just because I knew it was coming because everyone else got theirs first because, fuck me and my mail service. And so I'm holding up to the light. And then all I could read was the word face fuck. It was a very explicit threat to face fuck me to death, but that was the only piece I could get. I first of all, how?
Oh, through the envelope.
Yeah, through the envelope. I was holding it up to the light.
I thought they wrote it in urine or something, and then you were able to read it by.
No, I wanted to read it, but everyone else who had gotten a letter by that point had already called the cops, and the cops said, "Let your friends know if anyone else gets one, don't open it because we want to get fingerprints off the inside. You don't want to compromise." And so I'm like, fine, because it ended up being me and the lawyer, the Greg Duchette, who got ours late enough to preserve the evidence.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to read it so bad, though. Everyone else got to read theirs. It's not fucking fair.
Yeah. Hey, look.
Is there any more information?
I wouldn't be able to resist.
Oh,
In the chat where it says that we were doxxed, does it say who the we is?
Yeah, the Kiwi Farms.
It's the three of us. It's the three of us on Kiwi Farms, yeah.
Yeah.
They got it all up. I'm looking at it at the moment.
Oh my god, they did it. And I'm just gonna make a guess here. So Vibrant Dahlia, if you are cool and you're friendly, I apologize for what I'm about to say. Then you're cool. I'm scrolling up and I love Ren and Comic Skater so bad, and I'm just wondering like, are you a troll? It's okay if you are, but
they pulled that post I put of the chick that said I sacrificed the blood of the innocent for convenience. They put that in my doxing.
Oh, you really? Found it? You know what's going on here?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're all doxed. All our addresses.
You guys actually get doxed because of me?
No, not because of you. No, it's not because of you. It's because of fucking bullshit people on the internet.
It's not your fault at all. So check this out.
If it makes you feel any better, they're all very lazy and inathletic. So
that's right.
Can you share my OnlyFans and my Amazon wish list?
Yeah.
As well.
That's a
Sweet.
So check this out real quick, just to be serious for a second. I know I saw some other chats in there of other people who are worried. I'm sure if you were talking shit to the people in here, maybe they doxed you too. Here's the deal: is most of this stuff, the only way they get it is public information anyway. So if you're worried, make sure that you update your passwords on your accounts, and also you can go to like creditreport.com and put a watch on it just in case anybody tries to do identity theft or something like that. For most of the time, unless some fuck swats you or something like that, which people don't really do anymore, only because they'll go to fucking prison for the rest of their life now. Just be on the cautious side, change passwords, things like that, and be careful.
This photo is so good, though.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yes.
Is that an actual arrest photo?
Yeah, that's me when I had my Fumon shoe. Do you remember that?
No, yeah, for sure. I thought that was an actual
doxing. That's your doxing photo, my dude. Oh my god, that's such a good doxing photo. Oh, mine is so much better.
That's one of my best photos.
Oh my god, look at this Tiger King ass photo. This is beautiful.
My favorite thing that they've done is they've put my nudes in their they're not public on Instagram. They're like, we found nudes. and don't look at them, but you can go look at them on Instagram. They're there.
The public ones, yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll still surprise me too as I scroll. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
there's her butt.
Give it 6 months, and Kiwi Farms will have another leak where you get that you can just look up the email address of the person that doxed you.
Yeah.
It's really funny. The person that doxed me ended up being this. She doxed a bunch of people, and she ended up doxing the wrong person, and that person ended up calling her family and telling them about her after her whole email address leaked and whatnot. So.
What is Kiwi Farms?
It's a site that grew around I don't know if y'all know the Charles Weston Chandler. It was a guy that 4chan used to make fun of. He was like a deeply autistic individual. They had a whole forum to make fun of him and harass him, and then they realized they could do it to other people too, and it turned into a place where internet personalities get made fun of and harassed and doxxed. So you're officially internet personalities.
Holy shit! You know what's funny about that? So check that. That actually is a segue I was gonna say earlier. So I'm sitting here and I'm watching like the down votes go ding 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 ding. By the way, if you're in the chat, go ahead and just click like. But here's the thing though. Here's what they don't understand about YouTube algorithm. And now that we all have the dislikes up there, it's too late, bitches. It's interaction. It benefits us. You stupid motherfuckers. Like,
don't tell them.
I mean, don't. It makes me so mad when you do that.
Not the dislikes.
Yeah.
George, you live in Hawaii. Your house is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like they're doxing you, and it's just like, wow, what the fuck? That's great.
I'm trying to find it. Where do I go to
I
find
wish
this
I
shit?
lived
It's pretty funny.
They obviously couldn't get my address because I'm in Australia, so instead they pointed at my being LGBT and then said that's why I'm unlucky in love. I didn't know that.
Wait. Are you LGBT? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, now it's out.
Right.
The secret is out.
My bio.
So we do have another news item, but I'm sorry. I want to talk about Keanu Reeves just a teensy bit more.
Do it.
Kind of
in defense of Keanu Reeves.
I feel bad because all of the points are valid. I'm not saying the points aren't valid, but I do really like him. Not just as an actor, but as a person. And everyone I know who's ever worked with him says he's like the nicest guy in the world. So I am on Team Keanu. Also, how awesome is John Wick 3? Have you seen that? Has anyone seen that?
Yeah,
I hated
awesome.
John Wick 2 so much that I never watched John Wick 3.
Aw.
I'm telling you, John Wick 3 is some next level shit.
Well, it depends. What did you not like about John Wick 2?
John Wick 1 had so much heart and so much meaning and so much so much emotional resonance, and John Wick 2 was just action. And I don't mind action movies at all. I love them. But I don't know. I was just so disappointed that it didn't have that same level of character and heart and emotion.
So I don't disagree with you. The dog aspect of the first one sets it like a whole other level from the other two, and I agree to that.
We run a pit bull rescue, so go figure.
Right.
Yeah.
Cute.
I'm a little bit jealous. I kind of want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, come play with the dogs. You're in Richmond. I see from Kiwi Farms where you live. I can.
Does Kiwi Farms have me in Richmond?
Yeah, I think so.
I want to know how George got good photos. My photos all look like ass.
Where are you guys seeing this?
Look at him. Like, look, these are good photos of him.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
I know. They just posted to make him look cool.
Oh, I found myself.
Like.
It's exciting. Look at
it
us
looks
all.
like you're living a great life with a beautiful wife and a great house in Hawaii.
Actually.
Look at that. Look at you guys. You got cute photos too. Like, this is horse shit. Like, all my.
You know what that is? That's called being so insecure that you never allow bad pictures on the internet to be posted.
That's right.
Like, excuse me, my friends. I'm like, hey, guy, I need you to delete that picture from Facebook. I cannot have that picture out there.
I think that's normal these days. I
I
don't
make a lot of weird faces, so my photo. I set myself up for failure here, but I emote in a way that's easily screen capped. So
there's a photo. There's a photo floating around the internet of me completely blasted, drunk, simulating sex with a blow-up doll in a park surrounded by people. I don't really remember it being taken, but I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't find that, because I feel like that would have been like.
Well, it sounds like you just defined a holy grail for Mr. Dongs and the crew to seek out.
So. This was Mr. Dongs.
If you can find it, you can find it. But I think I might have deleted it or something. But if you can find it, then it's yours.
Kiwi Farms lost their head doxer after she got outed and got her nursing license compromised. So.
Oh shit.
They have kind of a junior crew that took over. They're doing their best. They're doing their best.
God, imagine being a nurse, and because you have to have a level of compassion to be a nurse, and you have to have a level of dedication because you're not being paid much and you're working a lot. Like my mom was a nurse, and imagine being that person, but also being somebody who's doxing people on Kiwi Farms. It's bananas.
That is insane.
She had just graduated and didn't have a placement anywhere, so I'm guessing she had a lot of time on her hands. But Kiwi Farms likes to pretend that it wasn't her, but it was her.
Interesting.
You don't have to be an empathetic, kind human being to pass some courses. You know what I mean? Like not downplaying the commitment. I mean, it's hard. My mom's also a nurse, and it's a lot of work. But you could do a lot of work and be smart and still be a garbage human being. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I mean, you could also be a super smart person in this particular field and be a complete idiot everywhere else. Ben Carson. So, it happens.
That's what I am.
It happens.
I'm super smart with rescue work, and I'm dumb everywhere else.
So
that's the best.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The best part of Kiwi Farms is that once you've been doxxed, they've played their heaviest card, and now you can just make fun of them because what are they gonna? You gotta post a second Google Maps photo of my house.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking come on over. We got 3 guns in this house.
Where
you noticed? Did you see the TX at the end of my address? We're legally allowed to.
Yeah, that's right.
shoot weeds
That's
on the
right.
lawn, so.
That's right. I what's funny is out of this whole thing, as I'm scrolling through this thread here, the only part that really hurts my feelings is that this was Mr. Dongs the whole time. And I was like...
And we were nice to Dongs.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Nice
Bro, I loved your name. Why would you do this to me?
You've been betrayed by Mr. Dongs?
We were nice to Dongs. What the hell?
It was Mr. Dongs the whole time.
I will
son
give
of a
Mr.
bitch.
Dongs credit, though. Mr. Dongs is an equal opportunity doxer. He goes deep and he goes hard. And he's indiscriminate, and give Dongs some credit.
Okay, all right.
All right. One for Dongs.
Alert!
Renfamous
is returning to YouTube.
Oh my god!
With the little fucking sirens.
I got the GeoCities graphics. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They love me and my dick nose. Here you go, boys.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. This is... I'm sorry. We're derailing the show. This is clearly the first time this has happened for us. So this is all new. You're like, oh, yep.
I'm glad you're not panicking. A lot of times when people get doxxed for talking to me, they panic, and I got to talk them off a ledge. So.
Nah,
we had that conversation with each other before we started this. We knew there was fucking assholes out there.
Before we engaged with Renfamous.
Before we started the YouTube channel, we were like, we know that if we go down this route and we hold the beliefs that we hold, that people are just going to shit on us. It's gonna be bad.
It is a Nazi shithole. Yeah. It truly is.
100%. What's good is that Reeve's on the literal other side of the planet, and me and Judah have plenty of guns. Even though we're in Hawaii, there's guns in the house. So I mean, we'll see what happens.
Surrounded by ocean.
Yeah, surrounded by an ocean, and you can't fly here anyway. It's the fucking lockdown. See me after the quarantine, bitch.
So
anyway, you guys had a comic book stream that we were gonna do.
Oh wow! So
this
is we
I
talk
actually have
on
to
here.
jump off, guys. Sorry, I have kittens.
800 dogs.
And I have kittens I have to bottle feed, and so
it's been almost 2 hours. We should start thinking about wrapping up.
I'm so jealous right now.
Don't be jealous.
Bottle feed kittens.
Are you jealous of the fact that I have to set my alarm to wake up twice in the middle of the night to go bottle feed?
Aww.
No, I'm not jealous of that.
No.
Okay. I'm very
Matt,
tired.
I'll send them your Amazon wish list for your rescue, and they can put it in the bottom of the channel, so people can send you some kitten food.
Oh, cool.
Hey.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right.
You can
Thanks,
also
Matt.
put up my website to buy my comics. I don't know.
Oh yes, we can do that.
Absolutely.
Because I
Please
make
send us
comics and It's mattminerxvx.com, and there's a link to my store there. So
Matt Miner. What does it say again?
Do it.
XVX, like X-ray Victor X-ray.
.com.
Yep.
So we're gonna put that in the chat, and we'll put that into the broadcast. Boom. Yeah, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, check that out. We'll put it in the description also. But there it is on the screen for you. Go ahead and check that out. Buy some comic books. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for joining us.
Comic. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Matt,
Nice
appreciate
chat. And talk to you later, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
All right, let's finish up these news
So,
pieces.
folks.
Can we do one more? I think
can-
we're
So-
coming up to 2 hours now.
I mean,
Alright, just real quick.
I'm good. We got the chat up. Ren, if we go too long, you can bow out if that's do whatever
It's
you
Father's
want.
Day in Australia. I'm sorry.
Oh, you
I'm
have to go
sorry,
too.
mate.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I'll do this shit by myself. No, just kidding.
Okay. Well,
Hold on. What?
yeah. I mean, we can wrap it up then if that's preferred.
Ren, would you about to say something? Can't hear you. Cannot hear you. I think.
Why is she muted?
You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah.
It's from Skype because Skype is showing you muted.
Oh, there we go.
How about now?
There you go.
Yeah. there we
Ooh.
go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was leaning into the mic for that one.
I do this thing on my phone where my face hits the mute button and then I'm sitting there talking for another hour like an idiot. So that's my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys, or do you folks want to cut this one short, or do you want to? We're at
How
2 hours.
about this, Ree? There is a couple things I wanted to make sure that we got out there. Ree, if you have to bow out, that's fine. If you need to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause I know-
I'll leave you
I
guys
know-
to it,
I
but
know it's-
Thank you. That was super fun.
Father's
Go
Day.
spend
down
time
the-
with your mom, mate.
Well, maybe if you guys celebrate Father's Day at a normal time. No, just
I
kidding.
know, right? All right. Thanks for having
See
me, guys.
ya,
It was
Ree.
nice to see you, Ren.
Bye.
Bye.
Good to talk to you. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Not that I have an appreciation thread on Kiwi Farms. It's exactly as creepy as it sounds.
Is it?
Really?
Jesus.
Yeah, it's mostly people ironically appreciating me, and then the odd person unironically appreciating me, and I would prefer it was entirely ironic.
What a time to be alive.
So weird.
No,
So weird.
the best part is the weird narrative they have about my family and who my family is, because they think my dad is an oil tycoon because we live in Texas, obviously, and he's simultaneously paying all my bills, and also I live in a hovel. So he's
Interesting.
paying my bills for me to live in a hovel.
In a hovel? Well, that's how he can pay your bills because it's not very expensive.
I guess.
Right.
I don't think he has a lot of money, but he pays for me to live in a shithole, and I'm very unsuccessful.
It builds character, you know.
Yeah, no,
Interesting.
really,
Interesting.
if they could really get the dynamic right, because he did find out. I don't know. My mom found the Kiwi Farms thread at one point, and she contacted me very serious, and she was very upset about the inaccuracies, and she wanted to know if there was a way for me to correct them.
That's funny.
She wanted to know if there was a way for me to correct my dad's work history, and I was like, Mom, I don't think it's a popular forum amongst those in his industry. Therefore, I do not believe these to be detrimental to his career in any way.
That's hilarious.
As a retired person.
Is this a hobby?
it's-
This has got to be a hobby for people, right? To
No,
docs.
it's a weird like kind of LARP. They have a community. They have community dynamics, and it's interesting to watch. There's something similar to friendship going on there, but it's rooted around being an asshole. But
Is
as
this
someone
tied
who-
to? Is this tied in any way to like Anonymous or Q or any of those kind of weirdo web kind of things?
No, they pretend it is. Anonymous is not. Anonymous is a bunch of dudes downloading the low orbit ion cannon, whatever the fuck it's called, and pretending that they're hackers because they tried to DDoS somebody's website. But
Did they dox
they're-
Coke?
Yes,
who?
clearly.
She doesn't want to be doxxed.
Aw.
Yeah.
No, they won't dox your cat.
Don't you dare dox Coco.
There's limits. There's limits here. All right, let's go to the next thing. Every time Coco comes on, I know he's ready to get off.
All right.
I know.
Hot. That could be misinterpreted. But anyway, DC Comics announced Global Batman Day celebration on September 19th, 2020. It's the 7th annual Batman Day. Bat fans, I'm reading by the way, can embrace their inner caped crusader as they listen to DC superhero or DC villain playlists on Spotify while driving with a Batman and the Riddler theme on Waze, featuring directions spoken by Batman, voiced by Kevin Conroy. Woo! Or the Riddler, voiced by Wally Winger. What, you couldn't get Mark Hamill? The fuck? In English, Spanish, and Portuguese. On social media, fans can help Batman protect Gotham City by piecing together clues left behind by the Riddler and unlocking exclusive limited-time reveals if they can solve the mystery. Well, this sounds wacky and fun.
Wait, was all of that part of Waze? Like, you had to solve mysteries on Waze and shit, like, while you're driving?
No.
Sounds inconvenient. Like you're trying to get to work, and they're like, oh, well, your keys are missing, and the only way you can find them is by opening Waze. Like, how did you get in my house?
I have to
Glennis says Batman. Every day is Batman Day.
Did we need a global Batman Day? That feels a little bit like when is White History Month.
That's right.
Like
that's right.
Every day is Batman Day.
That's right.
Every day, every month is White History Month.
That's
like,
right.
Did we need it?
Just in case there wasn't enough people buying Batman shit. Let's get a day.
I'm torn because I know you're right, but I also love Batman, and I don't know what to do with those two conflicting feelings.
That's which just kind of proves her point. Yeah. Everyone loves Batman.
White men love Batman. That's my point.
All right, Thor. Here it is. Let's see. Let's do some Donny Cates fanboy.
Oh, hey, Greg Land is back in the news. So, Donny Cates and Greg Land, Speak of the Devil, which I put in parentheses on this news item, have written Thor: Nexus War, which officially links the Fortnite universe with Marvel canon. And this is actually on Unlimited already, but I think there's going to be a print edition soon.
Did you read it? Be a print edition.
People are going to want this. I started it, and then I was like, I need to play Fortnite to
No, you don't. Don't do that. Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Well, you need to know the lore? What, are you afraid of getting confused?
Yeah!
Yes. Yes.
Are you
there's
not being up on the universe, or what?
I have an issue.
It's not even that. It's you're not gonna get what you think you're gonna get. There's no real Fortnite lore. You're gonna get the zombie shit out there. It's very kind of nebulous.
Zombies in Fortnite?
Well, here's the thing: is so a lot of people don't know this. Fortnite was like a fort game, like one of those, like you had to build these walls.
Wasn't it PUBG for like wasn't it like a PUBG kind of game? Or?
No.
Wasn't it a PUBG mod?
So it is the most popular part of Fortnite is the game that everybody knows. The actual I forget what the genre is called. I'm brain farting right now, but the
Battle Royale.
Yeah, Battle Royale.
10-year-old screaming curse words.
That's right. It is a 10-year-old screaming curse words on a Battle Royale is the genre I was trying to think of. But it's a Battle Royale is the version of the game that became popular, but the game itself is like you use some of the mechanics to build these walls as hordes of zombies come out, and you keep building walls and all this stuff. And then they said, well, let's make it an open world and then fight, and then that's the one that actually blew up. But the actual story,
so there's no lore? Then
there probably is the lore if you go to Fortnite.com and look up the world of Fortnite, but it's not anything that I would ever have to
It's not going to be The Walking Dead or anything.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe Donny Cates, if he'd known, maybe, I don't know.
He had to have known.
Everyone knows, yeah.
Donnie doesn't always plug in as much as one would expect.
Really?
All right, and
Really?
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like he's about artistic integrity, and he wouldn't be on board with that kind of thing, and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Of course, I don't blame him. It's a Marvel move, but he's actually one of my favorite writers. He's fucking outstanding, and
he's really nice. He's a
me
good
and
guy.
Robo had we met him at an event called Drinks with Donnie at Hawaii Comic-Con, and it was really fun. He's like such a cool ass dude.
Yeah.
But I don't blame him for any of that shit. I don't think I think it's an editorial decision, or even probably an editorial decision.
Yeah, I imagine.
Probably had to come out fast.
When you work for someone like Marvel, I imagine, and this is pure speculation, I imagine there's meetings where it's like, check this out, we're doing a multi-million-dollar partnership with the guys over at Fortnite, and here's the writer, meet your artist. It's like, it's like, what can they do about it?
Yeah, and there's a degree of you expect someone with Donny Cates's prestige to be able to say no, I'm not going to work with him because he does X, Y, and Z, and that's the kind of thing we'd expect out of them if they tried to make him work with some dipshit Comicsgate artist. Yeah. But at the same time, like, there's a line at which they feel like they can throw their weight around, and at which point they don't feel like they have enough weight to make that decision shift.
That's right. I'm sure there's a limit.
I don't blame them for not throwing down every single time over every single issue. But it could be that he did, and maybe it resulted in X number of issues and then we're done, or X number of issues and we're switching artists, or we're never going to work with him again, but we have to do this one issue thing because we've already signed contracts. Mm-hmm. Like, something could have happened behind the scenes that we don't know about.
And also, he might not be... Okay, so the swiping, unacceptable, and I'm definitely not defending that, but in other facets of his life, I don't think he's necessarily, like, bad or, like that bad of a dude.
Yeah, but the swiping thing is, like, if that's not a career killer in the comic industry, what is? Like... Right,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're not really talking about anything outside of the artistic integrity.
But what I mean is, like, someone might not be as keen on denying or, like, refusing to work with him or denying him a job, just based on that. I mean, it's not like he's racist or sexist.
I think in the artist industry, I imagine that would be huge. I think if you're caught, just like comedians, you could just look at what happened with Carlos Mencia.
But it's a different level. The greatest atrocities in history were not caused by art swiping; they were caused by bigotry. You know what I mean? So
I don't think anybody's making that. I don't think anybody's making that comparison.
where one is semi-forgivable on a personal level and one is not.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I think that's
Carlos Mencia got caught stealing jokes and then opened a Mexican restaurant near my house. So I don't know that the man was thoroughly canceled.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the whole canceling thing is a different conversation, and then that's part of it right there. Like whoever is really destroyed by it. I just mean in the industry microcosm, zoom all the way in an artistic industry in which artists are hiring artists. I imagine swiping other artists' work is a pretty big fucking deal, or you would think.
I know. I can think of people. I'm not going to name them, but I can think of people in the industry off the top of my head who would refuse to work with someone over some kind of bigoted belief, and wouldn't refuse to work with someone over alleged art swiping.
Okay.
And I can think of people that would work in the opposite direction. Who would immediately cancel someone for art swiping, but the bigoted beliefs, they'd be willing to look the other way again. So everybody is different, and everybody's standard is different. And honestly, as pessimistic as it sounds, it honestly usually does come down to the bottom line. Is the outcry more expensive than the redraw with a new artist?
We'll see. We'll see what happens with this Greg Land thing, because this actually blew up way bigger than I would have ever imagined.
I mean, Greg fucking Capullo.
Yeah, that's what really kind of like, oh.
I mean, I like seeing people more willing to call shit out, because that just tracks well for all kinds of issues in the industry.
That's right.
People willing to say something and stand up and put their name to it.
So many writers I respect have worked with him. Kieran Gillen worked with him for a very long time. Greg Pax worked with him. Cullen Bunn's worked with him. Like, he's so many great writers have worked with him. Maybe he's just a really nice guy. I don't know.
Those are all people that, I don't know. I don't know what was known. I'm not industry. I don't know what was known and what was known, but those are all people that once as of right now, I can almost guarantee none of those people will work with him again. Because they're all people that have a both an image and a genuine
care for the craft.
Respect for the craft, respect for artistic integrity, and they're not going to encourage that kind of thing. So, but at the same time, a lot of things aren't known until they very, very aggressively become known to everyone.
Until Greg Capullo puts you on his list, and then you're done.
There's a point at which it no longer can be unknown, I guess. But
everyone in this chat should do themselves a favor and follow Greg Capullo on Instagram. He's like an amazing shred guitarist. He's also like really, really cool, and he's incredibly jacked. He's like one of my favorite people.
I mean, if for none of the other reasons, to see his flex,
his veins, like his bicep, is like just awe-inspiring. But that's pretty much all we got.
Real quick. So wait, you have your last one there, right?
Yeah, this article. I'm about to open it.
So, real quick for people in the chat, we are coming up on the close of all this. If you have any last minute questions for anybody or for our guest Renfamous, go ahead and throw them in the chat now. We'll finish this last news item. If there's any questions out there, we'll just read them real quick. If there's no questions, then we'll just say goodbye. I see one from Ainsley already. If you guys have any other questions that you just want to throw out there, we'll take a couple minutes to answer some, and then we'll be done with this stream.
So Edgardo Miranda Rodriguez on creating a superhero for Puerto Rico. I saw this on NPR, and I didn't get to finish the article, but I found it very interesting, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it here. So I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'm going to start it and just kind of give you guys an idea. So, like a lot of kids, Edgardo Miranda Rodriguez was enthralled with superheroes from a young age. Growing up poor in the Bronx, he was drawn to escapism offered by comics, but he also loved how their storylines dealt with good people combating the injustices of the world. And this is right here. I identify with Spider-Man because he had brown hair like me, so I thought he was Puerto Rican. He came from a single-parent household. He was raised by his aunt. He grew up in Queens, so he was working class poor. He didn't have all the billions to have all the gadgets or a secret lair, and he made his own costume. So it was years later when he met with Marvel Comics editor-in-chief Joe Quesada, which springboarded him into the comics universe. He wrote a story for Guardians of Infinity. Oh, okay.
We're learning as we read.
Which retold the story of the Thing and Groot through a Puerto Rican lens. It was such a hit with the Latino community that Miranda Rodriguez decided to focus on an original series and protagonist, both named Le Borinqueña.
So La Borinqueña. So Boricua is the Taíno word for the island of Puerto Rico.
Ah, okay.
So that Borinqueña is a woman from Puerto Rico.
So this
gonna let him keep butchering that, huh?
Le Borinqueña, did I say it right?
No, just keep pressing.
Le Borinqueña
Just go.
is a college student from New York named Marisol Rios de la Luz, who received superpowers from a Taino goddess during a trip to Puerto Rico.
Just saying, you could have read this one.
He likes doing this. I was like, go ahead, knock yourself out.
Anyway, this comic book, this graphic novel looks pretty sweet.
It's actually pretty dope. I wanted to make sure we got that up on there. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We around here are all about representation matters, and
we just talked to
Greg Alisi. Yeah, Greg Anderson Alisi.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Check out his Where Spider. Check out the playlist. We also do a collab sort of deal with another channel where if you guys check out the Melanated Timeline, and I'll put the name in the chat. It's a couple of nerds, me and Cypher. We talk about more like social issues that affect from a nerdy perspective. Social issues that affect Black and Latino communities, or Latinx. So yeah, we're all about that. So when I saw that one, it was like, wow, and I definitely need to go read that. But let's see if we got any questions in here. Ainsley had one up here. Would Wolverine's healing factor reject an alien parasite?
I don't think so. No, it's not an immune.
I think it would.
I mean, it would make things very difficult.
I mean, it's like Deadpool's cancer, isn't it? Like Deadpool's perpetually healing from cancer. Wouldn't it be Wolverine like pushing a splinter out?
That's right.
Maybe I think of a parasite as like a alien, like from the Alien movies, like living in someone's stomach. And if it was living in Wolverine's stomach, I feel like as it eats Wolverine grows back. So in a way, maybe it could just live there forever. You know what I mean? It's like an endless supply of food.
I think he'd shit it out.
Yeah,
I
think that's the kind of thing that people that when we start talking about like immune system, when we start thinking about healing factors, it's cut, healing, cut. But we do that, like the example that Ren just said just now, splinter. The pushing out of the splinter is the healing process. You know, shitty food in our stomach and we have explosive diarrhea afterwards is a part of the healing process. It's a part of the body rejecting this foreign object. And I think if Wolverine's and Deadpool's is so like maxed out, any kind of foreign object in its body, it's going to do a lot to just try to get rid of.
Yeah, but then it has to be paired with the whole like adamantium skeleton thing, because I mean, why is his body not rejecting his weird ass bones? Like
Well,
it has to be such a permanent installation that it's impossible to reject.
when you think about and I can only say this because my dad just had his hip replaced. There's always a chance when you do like artificial hearts or artificial limbs. You got to be very careful, and then they got to go slowly, and then they look at it every day for like next week to make sure that your body hasn't rejected. Sometimes, implants and things like that do get rejected by the body, and then they have to use a different material. What's that?
You poop them out?
Well, you don't poop them out, but there'll be a lot of infectious material. Like the immune system will be attacking that area to where they gotta go. Fuck, we gotta use something.
You get a knee replacement and poop it out 2 weeks later. Like that's money.
That's a problem. That's a problem. My dad shot out 3 hips before he found the right one. So I don't.
So I think the Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X explanation for the adamantium is that his healing factor actually helped him accept the adamantium versus.
So if it was a good symbiote, maybe his healing factor, like if it was like Dax from Deep Space Nine, like if it was like a mutual consensual symbiote, maybe his body would be like, okay, come on in.
Maybe.
Come on in.
Parasite is detrimental to the host. So if we say parasite, I think you're right. I think the Wolverine would reject it. But if we talk about some sort of other type of symbiote, and this is biology, and I don't remember what the good one was called, but if it had a good one, then maybe
like the suckerfish that bond to sharks.
Right.
The Remora.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody will come up. Was there anything else? It looks like that's we got some
question.
Ren Love. J. Espen says Ren is literally the reason why he's on Twitter. That's awesome. Or they. I don't know who they are. And then, what did you like about Kelly Sue DeConnick's Aquaman run?
I like Aqualad. I think Aqualad's a cool character. I like seeing more Aqualad.
Well, we got into Aqualad with Jordan Clark and stuff like that, but when she took over the main Aquaman run, I'll tell you, I didn't read a lot of it. I read some of it to kind of lead into the 2-issue Jordan Clark run with Aqualad, and I love it. I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm not a huge DC fan in the first place, but from what I read. Do you read DC at all, Ren? I
don't read superhero comics. I don't like superhero comics. Sorry. I did read Aquaman from the moment that Stepan started drawing it to the moment that he stopped. So that was a good point in time. He was very hot.
Nice. Is superhero comics just doesn't interest you? It's just not your thing?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean I've got a few I got some Squirrel Girl. I got some solid Squirrel Girl over here.
Nice.
Nice.
I got Kingdom Come. Yeah, that's all. I don't do superhero. I do mostly most of my stuff is Image and Oni and stuff like that. So
tell us a little bit before we sign off. What is Deadbeats about, and where can people find it?
Deadbeats, you can find it in your comic shop right now. It's most shops have stocked at least a couple issues. It's an anthology of stories about a music shop of the damned. All of the stories revolve around a music store where musical artifacts can be found that have some kind of cursed history or haunted past of some kind. It's something that I really have enjoyed. Sample size 2 on the anthologies that I've participated in, and they've both been Wave Blue World anthologies, but they tend to pick editors that don't go too specific on the theme of the book. Like one of the best anthologies, totally counter to the point I just made, but Ironworks did the FTL Y'all anthology. It was Tales of the $200 Warp Drive. It was all stories were based in a time period immediately after the warp drive was made efficient to the point where it could be built for $200. And so everything was set in a very specific period of time and a very specific theme was that, you've gone somewhere now with your cheap warp drive. And it was very narrow, but a lot of really good stories came out of it. And that's one approach to the anthology. And Away Blue World, really, the editors that they pick really let you move around a lot in the prompt that they give you, the premise that they give you. And it results in a lot more work for the editor, honestly, because they have to kind of group these stories in a way that you're not totally disparate in terms of theme and style, but Deadbeats is another one where, you know, all we were given is it's a cursed music shop. There are artifacts in this shop. These artifacts can be literally anything. Write a story about one of those artifacts. And that was, you know, we've got things from you know, band T-shirts to records. Mine was about a cursed metronome, because my brain immediately went to, because metronome scared the shit out of me. My little brother was a percussionist growing up, and he had a whole fucking room full of like marimbas and timpanis and metronomes, and it was just constant, like the Edgar Allan Poe type shit there. But
Was it a
was a lot of latitude.
metronome?
Metronome, yeah, that's what they're called. I hope, or else my
Bad pun.
No. Like,
Bad pun.
story needs to be edited. If not,
Get out.
I was making a stupid joke, like a metro, GNOME, a metro.
Oh.
No.
Get out. Get out.
All right.
God,
Oh, man, if I had
you're
more
the
than 8
worst.
pages.
I'm so
I'm
glad
the
you were
worst.
doxxed today.
Hey, we're dogs.
Both dogs with really good photos, so y'all can both shut the fuck up. My doxing was very unflattering. Everyone on Kiwi Farms, you could have done me so much less dirty than you did. But
That's the real crime here.
it's in comic shops now, and in November you can also get a copy of Maybe Someday, in which I wrote a story about a guy who's an asshole, and he learns to be less of a hole. He's still a bit of an ass.
And more
Just
of an
an
ass. Or same amount of ass.
I like it.
All right.
Yeah, but Matt was my editor on that one, and he's awesome. So
Awesome.
He is awesome. Thank you for bringing him, and thank you for coming on our show. It was really fun to have you.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
I had a lot of fun. Sorry about the doxing.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Not a problem. Hey guys in the chat, we're done here. Thank you for coming out. Don't forget to check out the rest of our playlists. We have pros come out. We also have a couple new playlists out for Kickstarters. For small creators and Kickstarters, we come on, bring them on, and interview them. Our last one was Greg Anderson Elisi of Werewolf Spider. We're also on the press list for
The Were Spider.
The Were Spider, sorry, and for his new one, the Were Spider Showtime, which is on Kickstarter now until September 30th. We also have another one called First Look. We are on the press list, the official press list for Image Comics and Valiant Comics, and so they send us stuff out before it's released, and we'll do a little bit of a video on it to see if it's worth your time or not. Don't forget
We're
to
not gonna
watch.
spoil it.
No spoilers. They're always spoiler free, and also, most importantly, wash your hands, wear your mask, and keep
Your
socially
ass.
distant.
Wash your hands, wash your ass,
And wear your mask.
but not necessarily in that order. Wash your ass, then your hands.
Shut up.
As long as everything gets washed and covered at the end of the day.
That's right.
Right.
Take it easy, guys.
Cool.
Out.
Later, guys.
Thank you for watching IFLC. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, and be free. Follow our links and watch our show because you want to and not because of the threats. Thank you for watching Judah, Robo, and Reeve. We talk about comics, movies, and TV. Sometimes we have notable guests, and sometimes it's just us. But we're also cool.